Today's the day.
Woohoo!
There's the second most famous groundhog in Pennsylvania.
Phew. Am I late?
Just in time.
Nice. Holiday scratch-offs from the Pennsylvania Lottery.
Oh, things just got very merry. Keep on scratching.
It's a battle of blue bloods in Las Vegas. Cooper Flag and the Blue Devils take on Hunter Dickinson and the Jayhawks. The Terry's Chocolate Vegas Showdown. Number 12 Duke, number 1 Kansas. Tuesday on ESPN.
On the banks of the Olentangy, this old horseshoe has memories and legends virtually etched into the cement. Games of the century, Woody, Archie, Hopalong, Zeke, Bosa, and here comes Indiana. Indiana was supposed to be a mere warm-up act for the blood feud with Michigan that's coming next week. But these Hoosiers, they're nobody's warm-up act. They are the story of the season. And now Indiana has to prove it belongs on the biggest stage. This day is filled with teams trying to punctuate resurrection from the desert all the way to the Bronx. But here in Columbus, hang on, Sloopy. The Buckeyes are here to dot that I in Script, Ohio. But suddenly the Hoosiers go off script. Biggest game in Indiana history, and it'll set the earth reverberating.
It's gonna be a great one in Columbus.
Can't wait to get out there for college game day.
Let's go!
And we're coming to your city. The college football party on and on. Well, we rode out through that valley, grew a Sooner, gig 'em Aggies, threw our Longhorns up in Austin along the way.
Roll Tide rolled through Alabama, Happy Valley, and the farm and Stanford. Randy Hill went through Oregon on the plains.
Rise the big house, the gator swamp, 5 nights in the tomahawk chop. On USC, the Buckeyes, the Georgia Dogs, go follow.
I'm talking Louisiana, California, Carolina, Colorado, Mississippi, Oregon, Kentucky. Are you ready?
It's Reese, Kurt, Saban, Corso, and Mackie.
You can feel the electricity.
We love you guys!
Welcome to classes.
College game, and we're coming to your city.
Here we go.
College football party on and
College Game Day, live from Columbus, Ohio, is built by the Home Depot. Proud sponsor of college football's premier pregame show.
29 straight times Ohio State has beaten Indiana. That is a Big Ten record for one opponent over another one. Their last win was in 1988. Their last win here was in 1987. Anthony Thompson and the Hoosiers came in behind Bill Mallory.
Hey, he was a bad man, Anthony Thompson.
He went for $126, Kirk. He scored a touchdown against them. The Buckeyes were in the top 10, but they turned it over 3 times. And Indiana rolled out of here with a 31-10 victory a day that Buckeye head coach Earl Bruce said was the darkest day in Ohio State history. But as Bill Mallory was carried off the field, you know what he said?
What did he say?
You tell Earl, I've had some dark days too. And nobody has had more dark days than Indiana. See those 713 losses? Nobody in the history of the sport has lost more games than Indiana. See those top 5 matchups? This is just the second Indiana's ever played. This is Ohio State's third this year. But then here they stand. Here we are, toe-to-toe. Indiana, one win away from the Big Ten championship game and the biggest game in the history of Indiana football, and Ohio State is trying to ruin it. Glad to have you with us. Just what we expected. Beautiful day in Columbus. Great day for football. Reese Davis alongside my great tag team partners, including from the University of Michigan, former Heisman Trophy winner struck the pose after a 93-yard punt return, the great Desmond Howard.
Hi, baby Des.
Also here, the head coach of the Indiana Hoosiers for a decade, Lee Corso. The greatest coach in the history of college football, Nick Saban. And now, the former Buckeye captain, Kirk Herbstreit. And, of course, Pat McAfee's here.
What an absolute honor. Listen, this college football season has been nothing short of magical. And if you were to write a script about a movie, about a football game that would have implications on the sport for the next 20, 30 years, you couldn't script one better than what we have here in the great state of OH. Today, you have one team, constant juggernaut. You're talking about having everything. Every coach that's ever coached here has seemingly won big. Woody won. Tressel won. Urban won. Ryan Day has yet to win. And the expectations are always through the roof for this team and this roster. And then in comes a team from Bloomington, Indiana.
That's your home state.
A team that has been awakened from the depths of hell of college football. An island of misfit toys. A group of people that were outcasts, not desirable, not looking forward to having a D1 football career. All the leaders on the team are from JMU. The quarterback, he's a former MAC Player of the Year. The MAC's cute in the middle of the week. Let's get to the big games in the weekend. Then it's led by a head coach who's a Pittsburgh football guy. It wasn't until the age of 50 that he got his first head coaching opportunity, and it was at D3 IUP that he would win. Google him. Then he would win. Google him. Then he'd go to JMU, win. Then he would come to Indiana with next to no money, no NIL, no facilities, and turn them into a juggernaut. Inspired to take over this college football world and come into the horseshoe in November and beat the Ohio State Buckeyes' ass. That's what today is. It's the haves and the have-nots. It's the greatest thing that could happen in the entire world. College football is electrifying, and today is a massive deal.
Let's see what they think, though. What do they think about Indiana? I don't think they're buying it.
We'll find out today. The line was 13.5. Goes all the way down to 10. Now it's at 10.5. Who knows something, Coach Corso? We don't know, but we know it's going to deliver today. And this game is going to have implications, setting precedent for the college football playoff for the next 30 years. It's a big day in Columbus. I'm honored to be here, and these people are fantastic.
Indiana has the weakest strength of schedule of any Power 4 team, but you know who has the second weakest in the entire country? Army. So if it's a prove-it day for Indiana, similar spot in a sold-out Yankee Stadium, my friend John Mosley tells me. Army and Notre Dame coming up.
And we saw Wrigley Field last week with Ohio State Northwestern. Now Yankee Stadium here with Notre Dame and Army. Army's going to be able to run the football. It's obvious. Bryson Daly's been amazing. Kanye Udo, explosive runner as well. They've got playmakers. They've got to be able to get them out in space. Notre Dame will be determined with Al Golden to be able to stop this run game. Jack Kaiser, they're really good in the interior. They've got to focus on the run game and make Army have to throw to win this game.
Yeah, man, Big Howard Cross is going to have a hell of a game. But BYU against Arizona State. Sun Devils on the 3-game winning streak, guys. Knocked off Kansas State last week to go to 8-2, ranked number 21 in the CFP. Going up against this BYU team, the Cougars got clipped last week by the Jayhawks of Kansas. They only scored 13 points and dropped 8 spots in the CFP rankings. Now they're number 14. big matchup in the Big 12.
Big 12 is wide open. I think West Virginia even still has a road, but these two teams have one team that definitely can and one team that can spoil. Kansas spoils BYU's undefeated season last week. Will they be spoiling the Big 12 opportunity for Colorado, who is playing better than they could have ever imagined 1 year ago? The defense has been lifted. Shador and Travis Hunter are balling, and they're taking on a hot Kansas team whose season hasn't gone the way they thought it would, but the last few weeks have been demolishing teams.
Ole Miss travels to Florida. Ole Miss's explosive offense is led by quarterback Jackson Dart, and they have one of the most disruptive defenses in the country. They're 46 sacks and 103 tackles for loss, easily lead the nation. Flores' offense is led by freshman quarterback DJ Lagway, and who is 3-1 as a starter, and freshman running back Jaden Ball, who has been outstanding. Great signs for the Gators' future.
Texas A&M at Auburn. Now, Marcel Reed has energized the Aggie offense. They're in position to win their way to Atlanta. You know what Auburn is going to do. They've got a good defense. They'll try to deal with Reed, and when they have it, they're going to try to run it with Jarquez Hunter. Second in the SEC in rushing. Now, Texas looms next week. Be careful, Aggies. All attention on Auburn.
I think our focus is single-handedly on on Auburn right now and locked in on what we got to get done.
It was a slip of the tongue.
Absolutely.
I know it's happened. Oh, but you know this haunted mansion, Jordan-Hare Stadium. You know their players heard that. Oh, attention on Texas, he said.
Here we go. Indiana, Ohio State. The Buckeyes running game. Quinshon Junkins, we know what he can do. Trevion Henderson, Ohio State can go. Remember, Seth McLaughlin out. How will that affect the offensive line? Indiana defense, you can see how good they've been against the run. One of the best in the country. Mikal Kamara, the JMU transfer, 9.5 sacks. He'll be all over the field, number 6. The big question, can Curtis Rourke keep up with the Ohio State offense? He's got playmakers led by Elijah Surratt. Big play ability. Sonny Styles will have to diffuse his balanced attack. Look for him to be very aggressive on the attack, getting into the face of not only Rourke, but the entire Indiana offense.
Man, how good is Sonny Styles?
He's been all over the field.
He's been everywhere making plays. But, this whole thing is about, the whole theme of the day really is about what you talked about earlier, is the disruptors turning things upside down.
Yeah, and I think that's the benefit of the transfer portal and NIL and everything like that, is you can find disruptors out of nowhere. Who would have thought we'd be in Columbus, Ohio on this weekend? Mm-hmm. And nowhere near Columbus, Ohio on the game weekend. Indiana has come through and really disrupted the entire college football conversation. How's their strength of schedule? How's their team? How do they hold up against a juggernaut like Ohio State? Everything's been disrupted, and I think it's because of the transfer portal NIL, and Indiana is a living, breathing example of that.
I'm going to tell you, Indiana can win by getting an upset. I'm going to tell you how they're right now. Indiana has 28 players who are in their 5th, 6th, or 7th year. They're one of the oldest teams in America, and they're not afraid of Buckeyes. They will not be intimidated by Ohio State. Next, quarterback Curtis Rourke. He's a 6-year transfer from Ohio University, and he can beat Ohio State. Now listen, and finally, finally, watch out for Indiana. Come out smoking, jump out of by 14, and then hold on. That's how they can win this game.
No, Coach, you're right about that. You know that Signetti, he comes in here with a lot of confidence. So his team will come in here confident too. But how about the game in the Boogie Down Bronx? You're talking about Army versus Notre Dame. Army can be a disruptor. First of all, their style and brand of play, very difficult to try to defend, to try to get used to in just a week. So I think Notre Dame will struggle there. But there are some teams looking for an at-large bid who's rooting for Army to knock off Notre Dame. Teams like SMU, Tennessee, probably BYU. So I think that Army could be a great disruptor today.
Well, the Big 12 to me is the one that's crazy. I mean, you have Colorado, Arizona State, BYU, all teams that were picked to be bottom half of the league in preseason are all up there fighting for a championship. And then SMU and the ACC, same thing. Bottom half of the league, they're probably the team that has the best chance to win the conference now.
It seems like no matter how many teams are in the playoff, there's controversy, there's debate, there's people that are frustrated. I choose to enjoy November 23rd, that entire slate. Right. Every game we talked about is relevant to now a 12-team playoff. If this were last year, these games would be fun because we love college football, but they wouldn't impact the potential to get into the postseason. Now they do. All these games have an opportunity to impact who these teams are that ultimately get in. So let's enjoy the fact that we have all these teams and all these opportunities instead of just 2 teams or 4 teams. We got 12. It's great. So we can still be mad at each other, but let's enjoy the ride here a little bit.
You're going to sell that to Tennessee?
The internet's mad at everything.
Wait till we get to 14, Kirk. That's a great point. Wait till we get to 14, and we'll have even more and other opportunities to get in. I wish Washington State and Oregon State would give out a conference championship trophy. The 2-pack game, the only 2 left in the Pac-12 right now, played today. Battle of the Wild, Brawl of the Wild, I should say. And then, how about this? We like the trophies. We're going to get a Potato State trophy for the first time between Idaho and Idaho State.
Ooh,
I have no idea why they weren't giving out
there.
potato trophies before. Our producer, Jim Galliero, said, why wasn't there a trophy before? I don't know the answer to this, Jimmy. But now we've got one.
Let's get a big bowl of mashed potatoes.
Big bowl of mashed potatoes, which Pat loves around Thanksgiving, too. Right?
Loves those.
Inside College Game Day, Nick will talk a little bit about what Desmond referred to, an Army against the Notre Dame defense. Also draw some parallels to how they dealt with Navy, slightly different kind of offense. Caleb Downs, Ohio State's defensive back. Man, oh man, you want to talk about instincts and football IQ? Not many have anything on Caleb.
I've been watching film since I was 8 or 9 years old. I probably had 15 boxes of small little football men that you could play. Just playing through the game in my head every day as a kid, that seemed normal for me.
We're going to find out a few other stories from Caleb's former coach later on. $800,000 last week. How about today?
What are you
going to do for an encore?
Yeah, $150,000 this week. That could go down to $5.
There we go. Look at Big Brutus is here. There we go, Stanford Steve. Oh, we got toys.
Peter, you got a new toy, Peter.
Look at this. There we go.
Peter, you got a new toy, Peter. You want to go on a walk?
Come here, Pete. Here.
Hey, Ryan Day is coming up on the show when you come back. There he is, the head coach of the Buckeyes.
Whoa!
The best deals of the season have arrived.
So, what are you working on?
Putting up the tree. Done putting up the tree.
And decking out the house. Don't forget the big guy. Got him right here.
Get Black Friday savings now at the Home Depot.
Let game day begin!
Grab a Pepsi and make your game day epic.
While you were away, there were some developments. Fortunately, DoorDash can quickly come to your rescue. Your door to more. DoorDash.
All right, Tina, 6 is hard to beat.
Not for us.
Okay, not soccer, but
Football.
Yes. We honeymooned here.
Mallorca.
Yes. Pass.
No, we don't pass, Tina. Come on.
They help give you more.
A tax professional.
And they have a 97% satisfaction rating.
Salami?
You could have done it in a British accent.
That's helpful, Randy.
For savings and service, get more with Geico.
Subway launched new $6.99 meal deals with any 6-inch sub.
Wait, Subway did what?
Dad?
Yep. For a limited time, get any 6-inch sub, chip, and a drink, all for just $6.99.
Tamara, Izzy, and Emma. No one puts more love into logistics than these three. You need them. They need a retirement plan. Work with principals so we can help you with a plan that's right for your team. Let our expertise round out yours.
To Janie, you've been stealing my fleece for years. It's about time you had one that's just for you, for all the adventures you take. Now, give me my fleece back or I'm telling Mom and Dad. Love, Emma.
He loves that baby.
My pride and joy. And wait till you see the other 2 surprises. A joyful bundle of 3.
3?
I was thinking of gifting one to each of you. I got AT&T's bundle of 3, iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence for me, and iPad and Apple Watch for you.
Get iPhone 16 Pro on us, plus iPad and Apple Watch for 99 cents per month each, and save up to $1,700.
spoons, they're out. Panera's new ciabatta dippers are in. Each melty sandwich paired with a perfect portion of soup is made to dip. Go for the French dipper or spicy chicken dipper. No spoon necessary when your sandwich is built to do the dipping. Only at Panera for a limited time.
Patients who have sensitive teeth but also want whiter teeth, they have to make a choice, one versus the other. New Sensodyne Clinical White that provides 2 shades whiter teeth as well as providing 24/7 sensitivity protection. Patients are going to love to see Sensodyne on the shelf.
The SEC on ABC all day. Late season urgency is in the air.
Is there more shakeup coming?
First, Ole Miss's hot streak is at stake against Florida.
Ole Miss, that's the team nobody wants to play.
Then the Wildcats try to upset the Longhorns.
Texas back in prime position.
And in prime time, a high-pressure clash between Alabama and Oklahoma.
One of the battles that only the new expanded SEC can deliver.
The SEC on ABC all day today, beginning at noon Eastern.
College Game Day is built by the Home Depot. How doers get more done. And in part by DoorDash. From apps to snacks, get all your game day favorites delivered before kickoff. And Arby's, the official burger sponsor of ESPN College Game Day. Arby's, we have the meats.
Inside Ohio Theater, they're showcasing the iconic dotting of the I. Started back in 1936. Now this is going to happen inside the stage. It's not happening right now. This is old school. One of the sousaphone players. You have to be a sousaphone player. Rare exceptions have been made over the years. One of the great rituals in college football. Home Depot Game Day tailgate built by doers. John Davis, Chip Mullen, the chefs cooking up their Game Day meat lab. A little seafood tower and the Stadium King.
Jeff Ruby, boys.
He has to be ready for that.
He don't mess around.
Jeff Ruby, you go to Jeff Ruby's and get yourself a meal right there. Yeah, right there.
Big time.
Yeah.
You can have straight roll. Jeff Ruby, that's very good sushi.
There are a lot of steaks and stuff named after Herb Street here. And I'm sure plenty named after Ryan Day here, the head coach of the Buckeyes, here to join us. Now, just in a few minutes, Ryan, we'll go inside St. John's Arena, have the skull sessions, like a pep rally. Fans come in there. I mean, you've been pretty fiery. You're fiery on his show yesterday.
Awesome.
What message are we sending to the crowd today?
Oh, wait! I think the fans are going to be fired up for this one. That's all I can say.
Okay.
All right. Man, if you were ready
I
to
love
go.
that. Okay, so the fans are going to be fired up for this one. And obviously, Indiana is a team that has this season come out of nowhere. We showed it 700 and what?
13
losses, most in all of college football. They're rallying. They're good.
Yeah.
What is your message to the team about it? Like an unknown brand coming in here, noon kickoff, everything in front of you. What has your messaging been to the team?
Well, that's why every week it's about our process and making sure that we're doing the same thing week in and week out, knowing that we want to play our best football in November. And, they are a good team. Listen, they're 10-0 and top 5 team, but we've been in top 5 matchups this year. In this game, we got them at home. And, I think for our guys, it's going to be important to play with great enthusiasm, great passion, great intensity, but also making sure that we're focused on doing our job, understanding situational football, and making sure that we're finishing the game in the fourth quarter.
Hell yeah.
After losing Seth McLaughlin this week in practice, what kind of adjustments do you have to make in the offensive line, and how do you think that'll impact your offense?
Yeah, it definitely makes an impact. But the good news is, we had Carson Hinsman there at left guard, and he had played 12 games for us at center last year. So being able to make that move was good. And I think Seth really helped Carson this year. Carson played with a lot of confidence coming out of the Penn State game. He got put in a tough spot, played excellent in that game. Now we're moving him back to center. We're moving Austin Saraville to left guard, who started at guard when Donovan Jackson was down early. So these guys have played. I feel like Donovan's been playing well left tackle. They're playing with great confidence. And the guy that drives the whole thing is Will Howard. We're in the huddle now, and after every play, those guys are looking each other in the eye, breaking the huddle together, and they're playing with confidence.
Coach, that's what I was going to ask you about Will Howard. Just what you expected from him, what you're now seeing, and just maybe from an intangible standpoint, what he brings to the table for this team.
Well, this game is one with players. Mm-hmm. We can talk and do all these different, but they got to go on the field and play. And a big part of that is the leadership that he brings, the maturity, the ability for him to get us into the right play. Mm-hmm. When you have a 22, 23-year-old guy who has as much experience as he has, he can get you into the right play. He can make adjustments in game. And then also just know that there's going to be momentum swings in a game. Get everybody on the same page, get back out in the field, and then have the resilience like you did in the Penn State game to maybe have something that goes sideways and get back down and get us in the end zone.
Yep.
Coach, you were on Pat's show yesterday, and you talked about the expectations as the head coach at Ohio State and what they are year in and year out. I don't really give a damn about that. What I want to ask you about is there's a young man who broke the career passing yards record as a sophomore named RJ. Tell us about that moment and what that meant to you, Coach.
No, thanks. Yeah, our life is football. Yeah. You don't have a choice. When you're at Ohio State, your life is football. Yeah. And so Nina and the girls, they live it every day. But my son loves football. He loves the Buckeyes. Yeah. And for him to be able to play the game, play quarterback position. Absolutely. He's with our guys all the time. He's in the meeting room. He just loves the game. So being able to watch him play on Friday nights is special.
Congratulations on that rep.
Yeah, thanks.
That's awesome. That's great. That's feel good as a dad. Now, this new 12-team playoff is obviously the topic of conversation around the entire country. In the South, up here, you get it. Have you talked about it much with your team, about what's all possible and what isn't? Like after the Oregon game, do you chat with them? Everything's still in front of us. After the Penn State game, how much are you talking about the playoff versus also managing what's happening in front of you?
Well, the first goal is to win the rivalry game every year, and then you want to win the Big Ten championship, then you want to win the national championship. And that's just how it goes. And in order for us to reach our goals coming off the Oregon loss, the playoffs started then. And it's the same thing here. Like, these guys know if we want to get to Indianapolis, we'd have to win.
Got it.
There's no way around it. And so we have to own that, and that's it. And then, once that happens, you move on to the next thing. And I think it's easy to take a step back and try to take a picture of, what's going on, with the playoffs and everything. But that doesn't matter. What matters is right now. I think during the bye weeks, you can do that. You can say, okay, here's what we have ahead of us in the next few weeks. But right now, it's all about winning this game so that we can reach our goals.
Yeah, I think the big thing that people don't understand sometimes is every game's an important game.
Exactly right.
And you got to be where your feet are. And your players got to be where your feet are, focusing on exactly what the task is in front of them. Every game's a big game. I mean, people get beat all the time in games that they should not get beat. So you want to make sure your team is playing the best every game, every challenge that they have.
That's it.
One last thing I want to ask you is, he coached at a place where no pressure, win every game, but you need to be fired. And he had to manage that. You coach at a place where it's win every game or be fired. Maybe both of you. How do you manage that and still not coach not to lose and coach to win? How do you avoid that?
I think the focus can't be on the negative part about that.
Yeah.
The focus has to be on the opportunity. Look at the opportunity we have. Look what we can do. Look at the team that we have. Look at what's going to happen today in this stadium.
Yeah.
The ability for us to learn from a little bit of adversity that happened early in the season, coming up a point short, addressing those issues. Because sometimes when you go through the season, you have these things that show up and you sort of patchwork them or you Band-Aid them. You got to rip those things off, get them addressed, get them fixed, so you can be at your best this time of year to be undefeated in November. And so you got to look at it that way, and that you're at an unbelievable place with an unbelievable team, great leadership. And so let's just have a great day today and get after them.
Yeah. Do you ever think
about what you can control?
Hey, man.
That's the main thing.
Yeah. Hey, Coach.
What you do.
Coach, the alumni here is crazy. Do you ever think about having like A.J. Hawk, Bobby Carpenter, Schlegel and the boys put the helmets on in practice maybe on Thursday, thud it up with the boys?
I'm sure they would do that.
Yes, they would.
I heard A.J. Hawk once put on a helmet against
he did.
didn't it? Yeah.
Ended my life.
Yeah. It didn't. No, it didn't. Brian, always great to have you with us. So gracious every time we visit here. And one final message before you go into Skull Session. Hey, Brian Day, head coach of the Buckeyes, as they get set to take on Indiana. Here in Columbus, DoorDash keeping these fans warm, giving out hand warmers, gift cards. It is not nearly as cold as it was yesterday, but still a little bit chilly. Perfect Big Ten football weather. Just like you draw it up for a top 5 showdown in this conference. College football playoff more wide open than ever. We'll break down who's in, who might be in trouble with an upset, how it might impact things. Alabama, big road game tonight. And we'll handicap the Heisman Trophy. Which of these guys has the trophy in hand and it's theirs to lose?
What's this?
Aflac Duck signed me to an NIL deal.
An NIL deal?
It's name, injury, and likeness.
Aflac.
With a name like Prime, an injury like mine, and a likeness so fine, that's a triple threat.
Couldn't we just tell people Aflac pays cash for expenses not covered by health insurance?
If we want people to understand how Aflac helps close that gap, we got to get you to think bigger, Coach.
You got to be kidding.
Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover.
Aflac
Is an official sponsor of ESPN College Game Day.
Miss Terry's not going to like this.
trouble.
Team, it's been a grind, but I think I've aged you well. Some might say perfect. Who's ready to show 'em who's the cheesiest?
I woke up feeling the cheesiest, coach.
Cheez-It, official sponsor of the college football playoff.
For the better part of a century, Harry and David has been making gourmet gifts that bring people together to share traditions and make new memories, to bring us all closer, even when we're apart. No matter when and no matter where, life is a gift best shared. Harry and David, life is a gift. Share more.
Whopper, what's that Whopper? You created these showstoppers, crunchy, saucy, tangy toppers. I'm getting hungry.
Introducing the Mexican Street Corn Whopper. Crunchy, spicy. The Maple Bourbon Barbecue Whopper. Sweet, saucy. And the Fried Pickle Ranch Whopper. Crispy, tangy. But the real question is, do they top the OG? Guess you'll have to come in to find out.
BK, have it your way. You're wrong.
Fuel your fandom. Enjoy the home field advantage at Fairfield, official partner of the NCAA.
Rule number 1, no food in the edit suite. But we are feasting this week.
It's the Harbaugh family Thanksgiving. I'm sure dinner won't be awkward at all.
We have so much to be grateful for. Henry, Herbert, Zay, Bosa, and of course, the MVP, T-Delicious.
Fires end zone touchdown.
Let us eat and leave no crumbs, especially not in the edit suite.
Whee! Woohoo! Am I late?
Just in time. Nice. Holiday scratch-offs from the Pennsylvania Lottery.
Things just got very merry. Keep on scratching.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Changes in the air. This isn't last season. This time, it's different.
Tomorrow on Sunday NFL Countdown, before their Monday night showdown, a revealing family reunion with the Harbaugh brothers.
You've always been the ultimate competitor. Did you agree with that? An alpha male?
Plus,
welcome to Flavor Town.
Guy Fieri cooks up the food that fuels the NFL. Kick off your Sunday with us. NFL Countdown, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. Reese, back to you in Columbus.
All right, Greeny, Monday Night Football at SoFi. Ravens taking on the Chargers, the Harbaugh brothers. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC, ESPN, and Deportes. And speaking of brothers, the Manning brothers on ESPN2. Special guest, Mike Vrabel.
Oh,
Big
good
Fraves.
Ohio lad.
Oh, he'll have a big bag. Get ready to shimmy.
4 Zintins in his mouth.
Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, celebrating the challenge of road games everywhere. Are you ready for the road? Goodyear is more driven. There is no margin for error for the Miami Hurricanes. Hard Rock Stadium, Canes had some time off after the loss to Georgia Tech. Now Wake comes calling. Weakest pass defense in the ACC. That probably doesn't bode well against Cam Ward. So here are the conference standings entering the day. SMU ranked 13th, but they are unbeaten in ACC play. Clemson's in the clubhouse. 7-1, Miami, 2 games to go. So how do the scenarios play out? Well, in some ways, it's very much like a title game party of musical chairs. You have 3 teams, 2 spots, and SMU has the inside track. They beat Virginia, they're in. Or if they beat Cal at the end, they're in. So that would leave Clemson and Miami. Music stops if Miami beats Wake Forest and Syracuse. But because the Hurricanes have that loss, old Dabo could sneak around and get in there, and now they'll just all fight it out, and Clemson will sit back and wait until the smoke clears. This is what's ahead. SMU on the road today, then Cal. Clemson, no more ACC games, and then the two we mentioned. Be very careful for Miami with that last game up at Syracuse. Kyle McCord, the former Buckeye quarterback, has been spinning it. They've won 7 games. They got UConn today. We'll talk about that a little bit more later on. Okay, you saw the records. You saw the scenarios.
Yeah.
Who's the best team in the ACC?
Oh, man, it's tough for me because I think each team has like a flaw, but the most important position in college football is the quarterback position. So you look at the 3 teams, SMU, Miami, Clemson. Personally, I trust Cam Ward the most of the 3 quarterbacks for those 3 teams to come up with a win. I mean, we've seen him time in and, again and again, bring the team back from like double-digit deficits. Now, the defense is very suspect. I get that. But I think because they have Cam Ward and he can, save a game, I think I would just have to go Miami.
Well, you know what? I always felt a lot more comfortable as a coach when our team could keep from getting beat before they won. And Miami's defense is very, very suspect. So they're always having to outscore the other team, which is, very difficult.
Right.
I personally think SMU plays the best complementary football.
Yeah.
Kevin Jennings is a very good quarterback. They've got weapons on offense, but they're playing pretty well on defense.
True.
So they have the best balanced team to me.
I think they're the most complete team. Their defense is doing it all. They're stopping the run. They're creating turnovers. I think they have 20 on the year, top 10 in the country. Jennings is kind of like a, Cam Ward as far as his playmaking ability. Brashard Smith, over 1,000 yards, is pounding the rock. I'm with you, Coach. I think SMU, at this point, a couple weeks to go, I think they're the top team. But, who's going to play in this game in Charlotte? I'm with you. The Miami-Syracuse game at Syracuse could ultimately decide who gets in.
Yeah, that could change a lot of things there last game of the season for both of them. And I think the reason why we feel this way about SMU is because we were high on Clemson. Dabo's doing it. This team is back. They're experienced. You would think if they were to get into a championship game or into a playoff, Dabo and the boys would be built to have success. But then they lose to Louisville, and we go, maybe not. Yeah. Maybe not this year. Miami, they've been dancing with fate all year.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're talking like 4 or 5 different games where I have a good friend, Gumpy, who's a diehard Miami Hurricane fan.
Is he diehard?
Every week, we're dead. We're dead. We're dead. And then they come back and win it. And you talk about SMU, their only losses to BYU is currently top 15 team in the country. And then you think about what Rhett Lashley's been able to do, the amount of money that comes through that school.
So you like SMU?
I like SMU not just this year, but like in a Power 4 program. I like Rhett Lashley and SMU with the future, too. I really like what they're doing down there.
I agree with you, but we've been talking about Indiana's strength of schedule among the 4 weakest Power 4 conference schedules. SMU's in there, too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they had the close game against BYU. As you look ahead to the playoff, I'm with Desmond here. I think the only team from the ACC that if they get in the playoff that has the capability of making noise is Miami because of Cam Ward. Do you agree with that?
I see where you're coming from, but I know they may not get there. But Clemson, if we're going to go to all these cold weather schools with Maffa, that run game's the best run game of those 3 teams.
But they still got Cade Klubnik, though. Like, not sure I can trust him in a big game.
50-yard touchdown run last week to win the game.
Yeah, great guess, bro. Come on. I'm talking about a playoff game.
All right.
In the north, too. Although it wasn't cold last week. What do you got with SMU?
Well, you guys all love SMU. Obviously do, too. Love Coach Lashley. But Virginia is undefeated this year as an underdog.
Chase.
They're at home. All the pressure's on SMU. Virginia, keep it close.
I think one thing that a lot of people don't give enough credence to is the fact that teams like Clemson, who have played in a lot of big games, a lot of close games, a lot of playoff games, a lot of championship games, that culture on your team means something because the players believe they can win big games. And I always thought that was a huge advantage for us at Alabama.
That's huge.
How does the culture translate if you've had a few, by their standards, down years at Clemson? Still translate for guys who haven't done it maybe themselves?
Yeah, I think so. But, I had an interesting conversation yesterday with Caleb Downs. Mm-hmm. And he said, we were talking about the SEC and how many hard games we had. And he said we were more well-prepared for games like that. When we went to Oregon, we had 4 easy games or 5 easy games. Mm-hmm. So we weren't really well-prepared to have to go play a 60-minute game against a good team and win a good game and finish the game.
Calloused.
Battle
calloused. Yeah, battle tested. Calloused or anything like that. Interesting. Might be a little story for later.
I made that same statement on College Football Live.
There you go.
Yeah, when you go up and down the field against inferior opponents, you really don't know what you have as a coach. They found out against Oregon.
Right.
We're gonna find out what Indiana has against Ohio State coming up. So
yeah, we are.
Yes, we will.
Yes, we will.
Fan camp from just outside the shoe. We're about 2.5 hours away from kickoff between Indiana and Ohio State. You look at the Geico fan camp. You know what? I said the game just ends, kicks off in 2.5 hours. There is a team in Columbus who's going to play a night game inside that stadium at some point.
Absolutely. Good morning, Reese. So the 2025 NHL Stadium Series will be done in the shoe on Saturday, March 1st, 2025, airing on ESPN. So no, you're not early. You're right on time, Stinger. You're doing great. But it's a huge matchup between the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Detroit Red Wings. I'm talking Ohio State, Michigan type of rivalry, NHL style. All right, the field will be iced over to become a full NHL arena, becoming the first outdoor game in franchise history for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, the largest crowd for an Ohio State football game is 110,045 people against Michigan in 2016. Can the Stadium Series get close to that? We're going to find out on ESPN in March. But there's so much more coming up on College Game Day. We're just getting this party started, so don't go anywhere. With a wide open race for the 12-team college football playoff, we'll tell you who we believe the playoff picture will play out and why the chaos may only be just the beginning for some of the nation's top teams. And later, with some can't-miss rivalry games on tap today, the guys are breaking down some of the day's must-see TV that includes some matchups that you might not be thinking of. Don't go anywhere.
This time of year, there's one workshop on everyone's mind. The one that spends the whole year making toys and gifts. The Home Depot Kids Workshop, teaching those who will one day build their own homes and communities that doing is a gift you can share with everyone. Happy holidays from the Home Depot.
Any NBA play can inspire your next hunch. And with FanDuel, you can turn them into big wins. So if you think they're gonna rock the rim right out of the gates, hello. Or you want to RSVP to the block party.
There he is. Yes, sir.
Or you think it's gonna start raining threes.
Let's go!
FanDuel has more ways to bet on players so you can make your hunches happen with America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win.
Coach Gecko!
Coach G. Laura, Dan, I didn't realize the media would be here.
No, this isn't for work. We're just really big fans.
And we're scouting for our fantasy insurance teams.
Geico has all the top prospects and 97% satisfaction rating. That's unreal.
Oh my gosh, it's true. True! Smells like insurance. Suppose Geico does have devoted fans. It's not weird.
Jade, sign my arm.
For savings and service, get more with Geico.
She only signs claims checks.
On a Longing, Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
Ramon, what are you doing here? Texting another conference now.
Yeah, but it's like on the other side of the country. It's really, really far.
But you're not even on our schedule this season.
Maybe we can meet you in the playoffs.
That's crazy talk.
You know what else is crazy? Getting all that Dr. Pepper flavor with 0 sugar.
But Dr. Pepper doesn't have a questionable secondary like Tech does.
Here, catch!
And that's why you're a mascot.
College football, it's a Pepper thing.
What is it? The bus is leaving in 5 minutes.
All right, fine, I'll be out in a second.
You scared the gigabytes out of me.
I scared you.
The future isn't scary. Not investing in it is. 100 innovative companies, 1 ETF.
I think I might have oiled myself.
Before investing carefully, read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more in prospectus at Invesco.com.
The ACC Championship and a lot more at stake.
Yeah, that's how I get by.
Pivotal and critical week in the Big 12. We've got chaos looming.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Changes in the air. It's a new era, new team-ups, new stages set. Whose time is it? We'll see. This isn't last season. Nah.
Oh, puts up a three-pointer.
This time is different.
The 12-team playoff, it's wide open.
It creates more hope for more teams.
The top 25 rankings reveal and 12-team CFP projection Tuesday on ESPN.
Yeah, that's how I get by.
Of course, College Football Playoff National Championship will be awarded in January in Atlanta. Based on the latest CFP rankings, this is the way the bracket would look right now as we go over to the DoorDash dashboard with Kirk and Pat.
This is the projected 12-team college football playoff bracket, and everybody's pumped up about it. How could you not be? We're going to find a true champion. Now, it's only projections because we have no idea how this is all going to shape up because it's dependent upon what, Kirk Herbstreit?
Hear me, but here we go. It's conference champions. That's what the committee's looking for, and that's why there's these four teams, which we've made it abundantly clear, and we continue to make clear, the conference champions get the bye.
Boom, let's clear this thing out. So this will be a nice little refresher course. Right here, ladies and gentlemen, will be the number one team in the country, which will be the highest ranked conference champion. Okay, they're sitting here instead of here because if they get a win, guess what? They're the home team. Okay, then let's go to the second highest ranked conference champion. They'll be here. Third highest ranked conference champion. They'll be here.
Just to be clear, this could be Big Ten, it could be SEC, it's the last ranked.
ACC,
it could be anybody.
And then boom, the fourth highest ranked conference champion. This could be a Power Five or a Group of Five champion.
This week, if the season ended today, Boise State would be higher ranked than the Big 12 champion, so they would go by the Big 12 and they would end up getting a bye. So regardless of what their ranking is.
Agreed.
They're the fourth highest conference champion, so they would get the bye.
And then the fifth highest ranked conference champion will get an automatic bid because once again, they want champions to matter. These are currently the fourth highest ranked team from the four highest ranked conferences.
So again, these are placeholders. We're just going by the rankings right now. So this would be the Big Ten. Here's the SEC. Here's the ACC champion. We're just going by highest rank. And again, Big 12 is outranked for now by Boise State in the Group of Five.
And then boom, the fifth highest ranked champion projected. We don't know if BYU is going to win the Big 12. They very much might not. But they are currently the highest ranked team from the Big 12. So they're being projected as the champion. They get an automatic bid into the tourney.
And then once you decide the conference champions, boom. We've got our four that get the bye. There's the fifth. Regardless of what they're ranked, they're in, and then you just start stacking the rankings.
Oregon's out because they're the highest ranked Big Ten team. They're projected as a champion. Ohio State's at 5. Penn State right here below the SEC champion, currently projected. Penn State goes to 6. Then to 7. You just roll down the list. Indiana. Then who's the 8th seed? Notre Dame. Then who gets in there? Alabama. Then who gets in there? Ole Miss. Then who gets in there? Georgia. Okay, and now SMU leads the ACC. They're currently the first team out, or second team out. They win the ACC championship, though. Boom, they're automatically in there. That's why, Reese, these are all just projections because we have no idea because whoever becomes the champion has an automatic spot and a bye, which causes the chaos.
Yeah, whoever wins the conference championship games, these are just placeholders with the rankings, will end up in these spots. But it'd be interesting. It'd be a good last 2 or 3 weeks.
Can I tell you one thing I love about this? Like, if it worked out this way now, that this SEC team, they will have to host a game, right? Notre Dame will host it?
Yeah, they would host.
So they will have to go to South Bend. Georgia will have to go to Happy Valley.
Yep. Yeah.
Ole Miss will have to go to Bloomington.
And look up here.
I love to get these SEC teams up into the Midwest and deal with this type of weather.
Ohio State.
I would love that.
Look at Ohio. By the way, everybody keeps saying you want to be the 5th seed.
Yes. Right.
If Ohio State ended up the 5th seed, look at their run.
Yeah.
They play BYU, with all due respect, and they play Boise State. Yeah. That would be their run to get to here.
they're rooting for Army today.
So it's the 5 highest ranked champions, and then there's 7 other spots. And boy, this is where the chaos begins and ends. Who gets those spots?
Yes, sir.
Well, when you look at this, the team I think that has the biggest gripe of anybody is Tennessee. But it's not because they've beaten Alabama, and it's not against the other SEC teams. It's against Notre Dame. I mean, why in the world is Notre Dame ranked as highly as it is right now, unless you're watching the football judgment tape and saying they're just better because their strength of schedule is in the 80s right now. They have the worst loss by a mile on the board against Northern Illinois. They've got a great win at Texas A&M. But look at these strength of schedules. The worst among the major conferences and Notre Dame. Indiana's the worst.
Whoa.
You got Carolina. SMU's in the mix there as the second team out, and then Notre Dame. So I think it tells you the ACC is probably a one-bid league. But while all of this talk with Notre Dame, they're the one getting the bye. What do you think happens if Indiana loses, Nick?
Well, look, I think, everybody talks about strength of schedule, but really what I think is you should look at how many teams in the top 25 did that team beat? How many did they beat? Like Georgia beat 3, Alabama beat 3, Indiana hadn't beat any, Penn State hadn't beat any. All right, so, that matters that you can beat good teams, and that should be taken into account more than even strength of schedule, in my opinion. And Notre Dame, this is only the second-ranked team they've played all year.
What say you, Stanford Steve?
I'm just looking at this, as Pat pointed out, with all the teams, we only have one team that's solidified a spot in the conference championship game.
That's the Oregon Ducks.
Oregon, that's
right.
So, plug in all the teams.
Why not?
Impossible.
It can all change in 2 weeks.
Totally different.
Yeah, bro.
Hey, the flip side of this is what happens if Ohio State loses. In my judgment, they're still in because you look at these unbalanced conference schedules, and Oregon's not going to play Indiana, Oregon's not going to play Penn State. Ohio State's played them all. Yeah. And they lost by 1 at Oregon. You figure a game would be closer to 2.
Here's what Indiana has at stake. How many games have they played? 10?
10.
So they played 10 games.
Yeah.
They have 60 minutes.
Right.
And they can get more credibility than 100%. What they've done in 10 weeks.
Listen,
in 60 minutes.
Respect in college football is not given, it's earned.
Yeah, but that's
you
what I'm
go
saying.
in that stadium right there, and you take care of the Buckeyes, you've earned everybody's respect in this sport.
And you proved and you beat a top team.
Absolutely.
But if they lose this game today, they're going to get in the playoff potentially and never have beaten a top 25 team.
Let me give you,
Let
me give you a quick scenario. Michigan State came in here ranked number 9 in 2021. They were down 42-0 at half. If this is round 2 of that, what happens to Indiana? I'm just asking you guys.
There's going to be some real conversations about that. Legit. There's going to be some real
because
conversations.
Michigan State, it was when Mel Tucker just signed his big deal, and they got humiliated in that stadium.
That's after they had Kenneth Walker the third.
It was one of those games where it's just like, they're not good. I'm just saying if it happened.
Let's flip the script. Indiana beats Ohio State by 3 scores.
By 3 scores?
3 scores.
Ooh-wee.
Yep.
They can't even digest that. They can't wrap their minds around that.
Pat, you know what I said about they've played everybody? You lose at home by 3 scores, that might change things.
How close does it have to be for Indiana?
They have to
Ohio State for Indiana to gain.
To me, they have to go out there and
game,
compete. I don't even care what the score is. If you walk out of that stadium, you're like, Indiana's pretty good.
Exactly.
That's all. I don't even care what the score is. They just got to look. They got to look the part.
I've got one more quick one for you. Is Penn State getting a pass?
Yes.
And lost at home.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're number 4.
They're just the same as Indiana.
They have not.
But they have a wideout.
Wait. Top 25 team.
They do have a wideout.
And even when they played Ohio State, I think the score was close, but come on, bro. The competition on the field was not that close.
They were down on the goal line.
Ohio State to me proved to be the better team.
They were down on the goal line a couple of times. They had a chance to go in and tie the game, take the lead.
To me, that's what makes it worse.
They were impressive week 1 at West Virginia.
Okay.
When you play, that all matters too. And when Ohio State goes into Penn State and beats them, that means something.
All right, so all of these teams, whoever gets in, that's why I just wanted to point out the SEC teams, they're all arguing against each other.
Yeah.
They need to be arguing against Penn State, against Notre Dame. And Texas, too, hasn't played.
How many of these, Reese, for you?
Yeah, we haven't talked about Texas.
How many of these teams
for real?
have a legitimate resume in your mind? All of them. Okay. Yeah. So you think all these teams, do we all agree?
Yeah.
And I mean, they have a legitimate
To me, Texas got a two-game season. Texas 2
But, the one thing to think about, there are some snake pits in the SEC on the road today, so some of them might not have the resume by the end of the day that they have right now. Whoever wins is going to get the College Football Playoff National Championship trophy presented by our friends at Dr. Pepper. Pete Thamel attending some personal business, checking in remotely. Pete, what do you got? A little check-in.
Well, Reese, one of those snake pits today is Gainesville, Florida, where Ole Miss is going to play. They will get Trey Harris back, their star wide receiver who was leading the nation in receiving yards before he injured his groin on October 12th against LSU. When you talk about a playoff case, Trey Harris is a key part of Ole Miss's case. He obviously was the nation's leading receiver. And I've been told today that this is a little bit of an audition to see how healthy he's going to be. He's improved every day in practice, sources told me, with that injured groin. As for Ohio State today, we heard Ryan Day go through the machinations of another rebuilt offensive line. Carson Hinsman starts his 13th game at center for the Buckeyes, and redshirt freshman Austin Sarabald gets his third start at guard. Indiana leads the nation in both sacks and TFLs, much like that Penn State game. This game's going to be one up front if the Buckeyes are going to win. And finally, Reese, we wish you a Merry Flipmas. We had a rare week in recruiting where the number 1 and number 2 prospects in the country both switched teams. Obviously, Juju Lewis made his decision on Pat's show. He's going to go play for Coach Prime. Fans in Columbus will be interested to know Bryce Underwood appears to be the answer to Michigan's quarterback problems. He flipped from LSU.
Significant financial implications there too, Pete. And we'll have to wait and see what happens with the House settlement, which is the court case with the NCAA to see if everybody can get their stuff. Wheels Up gets our celebrity guest picker here. It is Justin Fields, a former Ohio State quarterback, who will join us in the shoot.
We're doing Colorado.
Being the best takes hard work. It takes early mornings, planning, precision, sweat, sacrifice, and teamwork. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in their game. Old Dominion Freight Line, helping the world keep promises.
So what you're asking me is, how would I direct a Porsche ad? Okay. Everything you'd expect from Porsche, and a few things you'd never imagine.
Some people just know they can save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like to check your spelling first before taking off your shirts.
Stu, Virginia.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Hey, what's up? I'm the W.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Takes the handoff. It's a refurbished.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment.
Dave's back on.
Coors Light. Choose chill.
This holiday, she's not settling for anything less than the Triple Treat Box from Pizza Hut. Featuring pizza, breadsticks, and dessert starting at $19.99.
It's a good deal, bro.
Get the holidays delivered with Pizza Hut.
Struggling with moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis? Talk to your doctor about #1 prescribed Entyvio, offering 2 maintenance options, including the Entyvio pen. Infusion and serious allergic reactions can happen during or after treatment. Entyvio may increase risk of infection, which can be serious. PML, a rare, potentially fatal brain infection, cannot be ruled out. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, sores, or are prone to infections. Liver problems can occur. Entyvio, relief, remission for real.
Entyvio, Entyvio, Entyvio.
Let's face it, guys only want one thing.
Wish I had something natural instead of this synthetic body wash. Sydney Sweeney, Body Wash Genie?
Dr. Squatch Body Wash.
for men who prefer natural.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Changes in the air. It's a new era, new team-ups, new stages set. Whose time is it? We'll see. This isn't last season. Nah.
Puts up a three-pointer.
This time is different.
What a morning. Perfect Big Ten weather. Top 5 showdown. Just the second in Indiana football history. 46 of these babies for the Buckeyes. Hey, somebody Buckeye guys here rocking the trophy. We'll see if Indiana can prove its worth behind Kurt Cignetti. Lots more coming up. Nick Saban inside the film room. How Notre Dame is going to have to deal with that Army running game and the option attack. Plus, 33 yards. You think that's easy? I know sometimes, boy, it really pays off if you do have a leg. Will we have more celebrations today with Pat McAfee's $150,000 field goal contest and Justin Fields, Steelers quarterback, former Buckeye leader, will come and be our celebrity guest picker. Today in the Big 12, Arrowhead Stadium, KU Stadium is being renovated. Lance Leipold's put a quick refurbishing product to Kansas season. They had 5 one-possession losses, but they flipped a couple of contenders the last couple of weeks, and now it's Colorado who will try to avoid this rock chalk upset against Iowa State. Devin Neal and the Jayhawks had an offense that went for more than 500 yards as Jalen Daniels reverted to the form we've seen a couple of years ago. And then, last Saturday night in Provo, it was the defense leading the way. Again, Jake Retzloff and BYU and Kansas, this Mello Dotson man, 5 interceptions among the best in the country, going to be a high draft pick. They won it 17-13, and now they'll go to make it 3 in a row against this Colorado team that is a little bit more than Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, and that explosive offensive defense has really improved, Kirk.
That's a great point, Reese. I think you have some individual superstars, but you've got a defense that Coach Prime obviously knew. He made some changes with the coordinators. He knew he had to get better in the trenches, really on both sides of the ball.
Well, last year they gave up 35 points a game. This year they're giving up 22. And to me, it all starts with their ability to stop the run. Look at these guys striking blockers and winning the line of scrimmage, which keeps the linebackers free so they can jump over. And when you stop the run, you actually create more loose play situations for second long and third down.
And for people at home, these guys want to be able to get the double team and then climb up to be able to help on the backers. But when these guys are doing their job, it frees up the linebackers.
Frees up the linebackers. Nobody can climb up to the second level.
Yep.
And this is another instance of where they're stunning on defense. They get great penetration. Right here.
That's a grown man right there. What a play that is.
And it's a tackle for a loss.
All right, so they're holding up against the run.
All these things lead to improvement. Here's a third down in the red zone. They're playing better red zone defense. So instead of giving up a touchdown here, they get great pressure. They get a sack. Now they give up a field goal, not a touchdown. Their red zone defense has improved dramatically.
Okay.
But because they're stopping the run, they create third and manageable situations on third down for the defense. So you're going to see him here.
Travis
Hunter, great coverage. Sees the ball, great instincts, breaks on the ball, gets an interception. So they're also getting more turnovers. They've gotten 10 turnovers in the last 4 games on defense.
So this is a great job of just seeing how well-rounded of a player he is. He doesn't give up on the play because the play is thrown somewhere else. He's just in case. Look at him, the awareness there to be able to make that play. That's fantastic.
And one thing I love about this play is we always taught our guys to take the ball down the numbers like a punt return, and that's exactly what he did. Now, here's the kind of execution that they used to bust last year.
Yeah.
All right, here they go playing man-to-man. All right, they're playing in and out on the 2 off receivers. Between the guy following the guy in motion and the corner here, they're locking on the point. I used to call that traffic all the time. But they execute this. This is the kind of stuff they used to bust last year. Because they execute it, now they got to go to a low percentage throw and they get off the field on 3rd down.
But for fans, when you see a receiver run in motion and you see a defender run with him, normally he's going to stay with him. Even if he runs out here, he's going to stay with him. What coach is saying is they're communicating with whether it's hand signals or feel, in and out. So now he comes off of the man that he just ran with, and now he picks him up, and now he picks up a man coming across. Totally different.
That's a great job by them, and that kind of execution is what's getting them off the field on 3rd down and why they've improved in points allowed.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Hey,
that was great.
I think the question was, we talked about Travis Hunter as a Heisman Trophy candidate, was would Colorado win enough games? Well, because of this defense, they can win their way into the Big 12 championship game. You know what he's doing on offense here. Is he the leader in your judgment?
Right now, Travis Hunter is in the pole position when it comes to Heisman candidates. I mean, he's very unique talent. He's a unicorn. He's doing a lot of things that we haven't seen before. And on top of that, he came on game day. Very humble kid. Yeah. We just enjoyed his energy. So right now, a lot of football left to be played. But right now, I think that this guy right here is in the pole position.
Yeah, you're talking about a special talent here. And Heisman's what? Most outstanding player. I don't know what's more outstanding than what he's been able to do. And that doesn't show the 3 forced fumbles that he has in the 33 tackles. Averaging 124 plays a game. You're talking about an alien, an anomaly. Now, speaking of, 1,893 yards, and he's been benched for a couple quarters. Yeah. You're talking about a guy that has been eyeing Barry Sanders' long record. Cam Ward's gone crazy, especially if Miami continues to win. And then the rest of the crew, Kirk, I mean, it's quarterback central, but there's 2 non-quarterbacks that are leading the way.
I love
this guy here.
I love it.
It's 2 players in one. Like Ohtani in baseball.
Yeah, that's right.
But what the key thing is for all these guys to me is whoever wins the Heisman Trophy, how does that affect how they play when they get an opportunity to play beyond the Heisman Trophy? Yeah. When Mark Ingram won the Heisman Trophy, I remember we're walking across the street to go to the press conference, and I said to Mark, I don't want you ever to let this affect who you are as a person. And Mark said, Coach, that'll never happen. And I said, but the most important thing and the hardest thing for you is how everybody else approaches you. You've always been Little Mark.
True.
You're never going to be Little Mark again.
True.
And how's that going to affect you? And about a month later, before we played it in the national championship game, he said, Coach, you are so right, man. Everybody approaches me different, and that's the hardest thing about this to adjust to.
Prestigious.
You should know that.
Exactly.
Prestigious award, brother.
Yeah, but some people enjoy it. I mean, he insists that off the air we refer to him as Mr. Heisman.
I would too.
Enjoy the different way that people react to him.
Hey, you could call him Mr. Super Bowl MVP too.
Well, that's just on Thursdays or something.
Letting all the secrets out today.
Oh, it's filmed by the Home Depot, December 12th, 9 o'clock Eastern Time on ESPN. Travis Hunter and a lot of these guys are going to collect a lot of those awards. Hunter's going to be up for the Thorpe and the Bolitnikoff and the Maxwell and you name it. And this guy might be up for a few awards too. Caleb Downs, Ohio State safety, Alabama transfer. My goodness, how good has he been as a primary defender? But Jen Latta joins us. You could probably see this coming with a guy like Caleb Downs.
I believe the phrase that Pat uses for guys like Caleb Downs is big brain. Consider this quote, guys. You got to see yourself winning before you can actually win. That is something that Caleb told one of his teammates when they were competing together. And it's a cool quote, but it's even cooler when you consider Caleb was just 8 years old when he told his teammate that. His family says he has always been ahead of the curve. He has always been a step ahead of everybody else on the field. And now that big brain is leading to big plays for the Buckeyes.
I probably had 15 boxes of small little football men.
In the backfield is a shotgun. Pass in the flat. He's across midfield.
I would imagine a game in my head.
Lobbing it down the right side. Touchdown!
I would play for hours.
And it's on the brink of something special.
Caleb Downs' family says he has always been different.
The Ohio State safety was just 4 years old when he started drawing up plays for his football action figures. And 2 years later, in his first action, he had immediate success.
Well, I scored 6 touchdowns in the first 15 minutes of the game. It seemed normal for me, I guess.
I'm like, hold up, this isn't normal. I'm like, maybe he won't do it again. Then he did it again, and I was like, okay, he's just a little different.
They won the championship that year, and he set the record for the most touchdowns. I think it was like 46, 47. One of his coaches or parent gave him the nickname Something Special because they had never seen anybody do what he did at that age.
Caleb's physical skills were obvious, but just as important, his high football IQ, which he began honing very early on.
I've been watching film since I was 8 or 9 years old. It's allowed me to play fast throughout the years, to be able to anticipate things that are coming up.
He can recognize patterns of how they line up, what they do in down and distances. He also knows what personnel is coming in. He looks at body language.
It also helps to grow up in a football family. Caleb's dad, Gary Downs, and his uncle, Dre Bly, played in the NFL, while his brother, Josh, is a receiver for the Colts. Many scouts expect Caleb to be a future top 10 draft pick.
Picked off Caleb Downs, his second interception of the year.
Last season at Alabama, Caleb started for the Crimson Tide and won SEC Freshman of the Year. But in January, he found himself at a crossroads.
Stunning news which broke from T-Town, the legend Nick Saban hanging him up.
I could feel my heart drop. We lost the coach that we came here to play for, so it was a difficult situation.
He respects Nick like no other. And then he says, oh, why am I in this situation again?
I felt like in my heart, it wasn't where I was supposed to be. They let me hear.
Heck of a tackle by Caleb Downs. That guy's all over the field.
Caleb certainly has a lot of God-given ability, but he's way more than that as a player. He's able to anticipate the game as opposed to react because of all the work that he does.
Nice tackle there by the Alabama transfer, Caleb Downs.
That work continues to pay off as the 19-year-old leads the Ohio State defense, making the kinds of plays young Caleb could only imagine. When you think about that little kid who was on the floor playing with the football guys, what would he think of this journey?
He would say, you still have more to do. He would say to keep pushing.
Caleb was the #1 prospect in the transfer portal, and Ryan Day told me the first time around when he was recruiting Caleb, he called him up to tell him that he had, in fact, chosen Alabama. Day said he was crushed. The second time around, Caleb called Day to let him know he wasn't going to be a Buckeye, and Day was crushed again. And then Caleb said, just kidding, I'm coming to Columbus, guys. The discipline and the drive of Caleb is like having another coach on the field. And I bet we know somebody who could talk to that, don't you, Reese?
Jen, I think you're right. I know that you developed a great relationship with Caleb in the time that you coached him.
Well, you know, this guy's one of the most complete people that I've ever had the opportunity to coach. He's a great person, he's a great student, and he's a phenomenal football player, great competitive. And his competitive IQ, how he responds on the field and reacts instinctively, I mean, it's in the top tier of all players of all time. Wow. But the one thing about Caleb that I have to tell you, I just don't know if I can trust him. You know, we had a rule last year because I didn't want to cuss in the meetings. You know, I was trying to be this transformational leader that set a good example. Yeah. So every time I cussed in the meeting, and I was always in the DB meeting, I had to pay $5. Well, Caleb was the guy holding the cash. Well, there's about $500 in the pot. And I don't know whatever happened to the cash.
Well, I will tell you, ask him. Pete Thamel is not the only investigative reporter around here. Jen Latta did a little bit of digging. Caleb Downs says he and Terrion Arnold have spent that money. That money. It's all. So you know where it is. Wherever it is, it's
should have been a group deal.
Always knew you paid your players.
There's Rick Rogers from Columbus OH. Home Depot Doer of the Week. We welcome him to College Game Day. this morning. And still to come, the SEC, we sort of touched on it talking the college football playoff. Where are the upsets lurking? Are they just on the road? Or could Texas run into a little bit of a Kentucky buzzsaw? And Kurt Cignetti got in here late, take him to the hotel, get on the bus, come here, kick a little tail. We'll visit with him as he comes back. Don't go anywhere. So much more coming from Columbus on College Game Day. But first, a quick word from Duncan.
The $6 meal deal is here. It starts with Duncan's legendary coffee, a toasty, melty bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, and a crispy, crumbly order of hash browns. It's kind of the biggest deal in breakfast. The $6 meal deal, available now.
It isn't the holidays without a little magic. Inside, outside, and everywhere in between. Get everything to make your season jolly, delivered at the speed you need. The holidays have arrived at the Home Depot.
Let's go to our next segment, Fairest Calls, inspired by Geico's fair and fast 24/7 claim service.
Do we have to do the Geico stuff while I'm here?
Yep, we do. Let's play the clip.
Holding, number 53, 10-yard penalty.
This literally happens every game. Can we just skip to the action?
Nope, nothing but fair and fast claims, just like Geico. Here's the next clip.
But I don't play the clip.
Pass interference, number 34.
Wow, doesn't get any fairer than this, boys.
For savings and service, get more with Geico.
Spoons, they're out. Panera's new ciabatta dippers are in. Each melty sandwich paired with a perfect portion of soup is made to dip. Go for the French dipper or spicy chicken dipper. No spoon necessary when your sandwich is built to do the dipping. Only at Panera for a limited time.
Restoration is more than walls. It's more than paint. It's more than cleaning. That's the thing we'll never forget. For Belfour, it's your memories. It's your life's passion. It's your home. Belfour, restoring more than property.
Look at us, all stressed before we even get dressed. Let's take a little time off to go off on brunch. Oh yeah, can't hurt. Let's roll with sausage, ricotta, and peaches, and quiches, and all kinds of crepe. Yeah. Let's trigger line dances, not each other. You just gotta keep the Bloodies merry, the Johnsonville aplenty, and keep it juicy.
When you'd rather enjoy the pool than clean someone else's.
Sweetie, get out of the pool.
It matters where you stay.
Thank you.
Stay and save up to 20% off. Hilton for the stay.
It is not just a fragrance. It is a passion.
Hey, I think I'm in the wrong commercial.
Oh, you're supposed to be in a Bud Light commercial.
Oh, that makes sense.
If you're here, Andre is...
Everyone knows good things come in threes, like our eat, drink, and play combo for just $19.99. Maybe the saying should be good things come in 19.99s. Maybe not. The Dave & Buster's Eat, Drink, and Play combo for just $19.99.
The new college football playoff begins December 20th and 21st.
College Game Day is brought to you by Geico. Check out College Game Day on social to get more fan cam action.
He is a staple in Ohio State games. Big Nut. He's trimmed up a little bit, so
really
medium-sized nut now.
Fit Nut.
Fit Nut. Is that what we go with? Fit Nut?
That jawline on the nut.
Let's go, Buckeye!
First time I was here, that guy screamed that in my face, spit directly in my mouth. Wild scene. OH! Yeah, never forget it.
I hope you sought immediate medical attention after that.
Yeah, I certainly did.
They're the horseshoe just a few moments ago. DoorDash counting us down to kick off. Jess Sims caught up with Curt Cignetti.
Here with Indiana's head coach, Curt Cignetti. Coach, thanks so much for doing this, first of all. Many are calling this the biggest game in Indiana football history. How do you keep your guys composed and focused in an environment like this?
This is just a football game. 60 minutes between the white lines. We got a veteran group, right? We earned the right to be here. There's no magic wand. We got the largest scoring margin, victory margin in college football, right? There's a narrative out there that's created another chip for us. People can stick that narrative up there, you know what.
I absolutely love that for you. Now, Ohio State has a ton of offensive weapons. How do you slow the Buckeyes down today?
Line of scrimmage, stop the run game, affect the quarterback, tight coverage, create some turnovers.
Now, for all of those people out there that are saying this is just the Cignetti Cinderella story, that's all this is, what do you have to say to them?
Google me. I win.
Best of luck, Coach. Thank you. Reese?
Jess, I'm very worried about Curt. I'm afraid he's way too uptight for this game. Not confident enough. Syracuse has UConn today. DoorDash counting us down to kickoff. You know what they're going to do? Ring of Honor the Dome. Dick McPherson, the College Football Hall of Famers, going into that ring. The ceremony at halftime, emceed by our friend Sean McDonough, very close friend of Coach Max. It'll be a great moment at Syracuse today. SMU on the road and on Stanford Steve's board. He's taking the 10 and a hook. Rhett Lashley.
Take the foot off the gas.
Look out. Clinch a spot in the ACC Championship game with a victory in Charlottesville today. And at noon on ABC and ESPN Plus, DJ Lagway, what a warrior, playing with that hamstring injury and has led the Gators to victory most recently against LSU. Kickoff in about an hour 46 and change. The AT&T is keeping us connected with the head coach of the Gators, Billy Napier, down on Florida Field right now. Billy, when this season started off and you guys struggled, so many teams will splinter. What was the most important factor for you to hold this team together and see them playing with the passion and energy we've seen the last few weeks?
Well, we've got really good leadership at the player level. You know, I think we worked hard all the way going back to January. Really sincere, authentic, quality relationships. We got great leadership. We got a good core group of veteran players. And again, that's what I respect the most. They didn't splinter. They didn't point fingers. We went into that open date, and it was all about solutions and how we could fix the problems.
Well, you know, Billy, you have done a great job, and I think sometimes people don't realize when things aren't going well, that's when you do your best coaching job. But DJ Lagway, how has he impacted your team? What kind of leader is he, and what do you see in his future?
Well, we committed to playing him early in the year just because of the ability, the explosive plays, but more importantly, the maturity and awareness. I mean, this guy has an effect as a competitor on the team. You know, Graham Mertz was a fantastic quarterback and player and a veteran player, and he had his leadership role. But I think for the young players on the team, Lagway's presence, and he's as unique of a player as I've been around. He raises his level as a competitor. That's what I'm really impressed with is on game day, man, he is consumed with doing his job as a competitor and certainly got a bright future in front of him.
Hey, Coach, Reese just hit you on it, but congratulations on getting this team to keep fighting after 2 straight losses. You're sitting there at 4-5, and in this world of NIL and portal, it's easy to see these teams quit. Your team just gets hungry and hungrier. So congrats on keeping that spirit and fight alive. You'll need that, obviously, today against Lane and Ole Miss. Anything stand out in your mind against defending these guys and that up-tempo attack and Jackson Dart and all those playmakers?
Well, you got to survive the script. You know, it's important that you're ready to start fast. You got to get the call in, get our cleats in the ground. We got to get communicated, aligned, play with the right leverage, have good eye discipline. You can get through the script and settle in and adjust to the tempo. I think it's important. You got to start fast early. Obviously, turnovers will be critical. And then, again, explosive plays. Can we minimize their explosives and find some ways to create them on offense?
Coach, you're the first person that we've had on this program that has done this conversation with a ball in your hands. Classic football guy. I respect the hell out of that. Are you going to throw that thing around? And if you are, if you were to throw that off the crossbar, let's say from the 25-yard line, I'll donate $1 million to hurricane relief.
Let's see what you got, Billy. Come on, take the jacket off, Coach. Take the jacket off.
I'm going inside to change. I'm coming back out. I'm coming back out.
All right, hey, have your social team record it. Has to be first try. You spin that thing, hit the crossbar. I'll donate $1 million.
From how far out?
25-yard line. Has to be a 35-yard throw.
That's a 35-yarder. Do it right now, man. Come on, Billy. Do it now.
It's about 60 degrees.
Pressure.
Do it.
It's about,
pressure.
It's
Get
about
down there.
60 degrees.
Get down there.
Let's go.
Here we go, Billy.
Let's go.
It's about
Let's
60
go.
degrees.
Hey, take that coat off. Take that damn coat
Let's go,
off.
Billy.
Let's go.
Hey, Billy, play.
Because you're in the
Get me into the pressure. Better watch out, Pat.
Hey, because you're in a suit, go up to the 20. Go to the 20. Go to the 20. Go to the 20. Because you're in the suit. Go to the 20.
How much is this for?
$1 million.
How much, Pat?
You ready to go?
Yeah, let's go.
I'm ripping it.
Great way to.
All right, here we go.
$1 million he hits the crossbar right now.
Oh! Good shot. Good try.
The program.
Hey, Coach. No. That's enough. Okay, that's enough.
They're trying to get a second try. Hey, Billy, congratulations on the way you guys keep fighting, and best of luck against Ole Miss today.
What? Give one more shot. Come on.
Oh, no.
I'm going to text him.
Duncan weekend menu, a lot of games in the SEC tonight. Prime time, Alabama at Oklahoma. Oklahoma gets a lot of pressure on the opposing quarterbacks, and Alabama sometimes gives up a little bit of pressure. Got Vanderbilt and LSU who've been sliding here.
Dude, that was as good as the
Upsets
kick.
loving.
That was as much fun as the kick.
I love it.
Maybe that's the next thing.
That was $1 million.
Hey, I think you see why, though, his
pretty
team,
fun, bro.
you see why his team didn't quit on him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like right there, think about how serious some people take both that situation and themselves. So for him to be like, all right, yeah, I will go spin it. I love Coach Napier. I'm wishing him all the success down there. The SEC is wild, though.
Yeah, you know, you think about
you've done?
that. They've lost 5 games, all 5 of Florida's losses, to the top 15 in the college football playoff rankings right now. It just shows you some of these teams might end up getting clipped here.
They could. Yeah. I was going to ask him, what would you have done if he asked you that and you were on the field?
Well, you know, coaching the DBs, this is the best interception arm in football.
You're right, Reese. These games, you know, they're not the marquee matchups, but they are those minefields where you just got to be careful. You can really go down the line. And we've seen Alabama look as good as anybody in the country. We've seen Alabama when they've been vulnerable. They're going to Norman, Texas A&M. They got a huge game next week in Texas. Here they got a difficult game on the road. Auburn's trying to just find anything to turn their season around with Alabama next week. They got A&M tonight. So these are tricky games in my mind.
Well, I would be alerting Texas A&M because, in my opinion, in 17 years, going to Auburn, playing in Jordan-Hare, that place is haunted. I guarantee you.
And why do you say that?
The way we lost games and the way we won games there, it's unbelievable. Pick 6, and then the Gravedigger last year. I mean, I'm telling you, the place is haunted.
Last night he was explaining at dinner and also before we got started, he said, we had 5 trips to the red zone, up 7. We scored 0 points.
0.
We had a missed kick, a block kick, we had an interception. All of a sudden, magic starts happening down there.
Yeah.
You think maybe Auburn goes on a run and they're a part of this particular conversation, but look at Texas A&M. With how that season started with Elko, with Notre Dame coming in and winning, if they can get to Texas,
look at that spread.
They're in everything, and they're only 2.5-point favorites.
Auburn's like top 30 in the S&P Plus and FP.
One of the teams I'm concerned with, we just talked about Ole Miss in Florida, right? Don't forget, Ole Miss coming off a big win against Georgia. Then they had the bye week. Coach, if you came off of a big win and then you had a bye week, which is an extra week for everybody to pat you on the back, tell you how great you are, how do you handle that situation going to a game like Lane Kiffin is faced with now playing against Georgia?
Well, you know, I got a few texts this week about that. So, you know, I always try to tell the team, same thing I've said before on here. You know, if you think anything that you've done in the past is going to affect what happens in the future, you're infected with success. You can't do that. I mean, it's momentary. You got to move on. They got to focus on this game. And I tell you what, with DJ Lagway playing, even when they played Georgia, it was 2020 when he got hurt.
Yeah.
So this guy's a real deal. So this is going to be a challenging game.
I want to see what Ole Miss looks like coming out today.
You know, for a while, LSU's been in this mix. They've all of a sudden hit hard times, and everybody's favorite superdog, Vandy's going down there. Qualified again. Let's see if anybody took them. What do you got?
It's the 48th straight SEC game that Vanderbilt's been an underdog. They were great. They're great as an underdog this year. Everybody knows that their favorite superdog. Yeah. They're 6-0 against the spread, and they won 4 of those games outright. We're going to take Vanderbilt here.
Okay. They've been everybody's favorite. Brian Kelly seemingly sitting in a burning house down there. You know, that 5-star kid going to Michigan.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, I mean, it's getting loud.
Desmond and them come up with some money for him.
Lane texted me. He's getting ready to play Billy Napier.
Yeah. Okay.
He said, I would have hit the crossbar.
Of course.
Text Lane back and ask him if he wants to win the SEC championship. I mean, Ole Miss hadn't won it since 1963.
Okay, well.
He started talking about
Hey, Lane, that's him over there. Not us.
It's me. I said it. Get to Atlanta and he can do it. Didn't stutter for a second. Get to Atlanta and he can do it. Get in there. Yeah. I think they win the national championship. Ole Miss? Oh, absolutely.
With that
they can win it out.
Oh, yeah.
They can win the whole thing.
Got to win today. Let's win today.
Right. To do that, they got to win today. They're going to get knocked out.
That's true.
They'll have their hands full there, and then Kentucky and Texas, and then Alabama and Oklahoma. Kirk will be there for that one. Looking ahead, it's not just next week that you have rivalries. How about Lafayette-Lehigh? That is the most played college football rivalry in the nation. Goodman Stadium is going to have a record 16,000 plus for the 160th meeting. No, it doesn't sound like a big crowd to the shoe, but for Goodman Stadium, it's pretty huge. You know what they do? You'd enjoy this, I think. They race wheeled beds down Packer Avenue at Lehigh there.
Some people say they can't believe.
Lehigh can win the Patriot League. They can clinch an FCS playoff bid, their first time since 2017. Yale and Harvard, the game. Remember, they always pull these pranks. Remember the card prank that the Yale guys pulled on Harvard? Yale leads the all-time series, 140th time they met. They pretended that they were Harvard boosters. Ended up playing Fenway Park one year to give a little flavor to the rivalry. And then when everybody flipped over the cards, it said, we suck. 69th edition of Jackson State and Alcorn State, Des.
You got the bow.
This should be a great one today. I can't wait to watch it. And then you also have the Bayou Classic. Jackson State and Alcorn State. I know everybody's looking forward to the band. What I want to see, let's see big fella right here.
Let's go, big fella. Get in there, big guy.
This is last week. 5'9", 350.
5'9", 350.
In the program. Depending on the point.
Yeah, in the program.
There's a tight series there. And then the big game, Steve. Stanford and Cal, 1982.
Knees down.
The play.
He said knees down.
Knees down. Five's
Right there. Right there.
He said knees down. Wow, they missed it.
This is where I say every year for my good close friend Rod Gilmore. If Paul Wiggin had been wise enough to put Rod Gilmore on kickoff coverage, that never would have happened.
There you go.
Instead, he was left to train for his future as a lawyer by arguing with the officials after it. And he was overruled in that case.
Could you imagine in 2024 the band being on the field? Wow,
and then
the chaos.
And then the replay to show the knee down.
Oh, wow.
After further review,
no touchdown.
Down.
Band back. Yeah.
The trombone player would have gotten run over for nothing in that case. What happens today?
Last week I picked against Stanford because they were the worst team against the spread.
I remember that.
Worst team against the spread against ranked teams in the last 5 years.
Uh-huh.
And they won.
Sure did.
On the field.
Flip Louisville.
So if that's going to work again, I'll take Cal.
Nice. I'm doing that with coach right now. That's nice.
We're 23-13. We're having some fun with some picks.
Yeah, I did that before. It worked too.
Hey, if Cal wins, will you do the Jay Knott song?
I'll try.
Okay, all right, let's see.
That's got
DoorDash Superdog standings. This is where I want to give a shout out to Superdog Player of the Week, Devin Dampier of New Mexico State. Honorable mention to Shea Oladipo of Boise State, who got a really important sack against San Jose State.
It's not cool. You see how San Jose State lost last week?
By the way, did you see Ben Pelt? That was brilliant.
Next level.
Brilliant television
so
there.
Passionate. You could feel the pain coming through the TV.
LC, who you got?
Minnesota plus 11.5 versus Penn State. Penn State is number 4 in the nation and almost sure bet to make the playoffs. Minnesota leads the Big Ten in turnover margin, and its overall defense is good enough to upset State. Minnesota over Ohio State.
LC, without us even talking, I got Minnesota as well. Whoa. 11 points. They're tough at home. Penn State, we talked earlier about they've got a good team. We just don't know how good they are. Better be careful today.
All right, I'm going to take Florida. I think Ole Miss probably ends up winning a close game here, but, you know, Florida's playing really good football right now. I know Ole Miss has got a great defense and they're very explosive on offense, but I really like Florida in a close game.
Stanford Steve, I'm going to take your alma mater, my friend. I hope your juju works. That's right. What am I getting, 14 and a half? 15. I'm swinging for the fences, baby. Let's go, Cardinal. Take care of Cal in this heated rivalry.
I don't know how this worked out, but I'm taking Northwestern. They're playing your alma mater. Northwestern has covered every single game in November with Coach Braun. Michigan's 0-3 as a double-digit favorite this year. Northwestern keeps it close.
I'll tell you what, I need double-digit wins. Me and Lee Corso are tied for dead last. I'm the reigning champ, so give me Fafita and the Irish Oos over there. Arizona getting 11 at TCU. They can do it with that offense. I'm excited.
Another W for Reese. What do you got, Reese?
We've got Utah here at home against Iowa State getting a touchdown. Final home game for the Utes. Got a succession plan in place for whenever Kyle Whittingham decides to step down. I mean, there's been no announcement, but, you know, never know what might happen.
Of course.
Utah might find a little motivation there. So DoorDash Superdogs recap. You got a couple of Gophers trying to row the boat. Gators, Tree, Northwestern Arizona, and the mighty Utah student section trying to snap that nasty losing streak of a half dozen.
I'm coming for you, Coach. You and me. Bottom of the barrel.
Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Are you ready for the road? Goodyear is more driven. All right, let's look how close Billy Napier was for $1 million for hurricane relief.
Oh, my gosh.
Just short. A different angle. I think he was the old Furman signal caller, was it?
Oh my God.
Hey, that might have gotten a pebble on the paint.
Oh, man. Here's Carson Bayer, kid from Pittsburgh. Freshman here at Ohio State. His major's finance. Good financial move. Win $150,000 by kicking a NFL regulation extra point, 33-yard field goal.
Reese, guys, we got Jeff Steakhouse in the building.
Now we go. Best steak.
Between the meatball, but also look at the Buckeye cake.
Well, my wife packed my lunch this week, so let's go right here.
Did you see?
The meat's down here.
That's got props. Great.
Chocolate peanut butter cake.
My lunch this week, so, you know.
Peanut butter?
Yes. Look at that.
You can't beat this.
Hey,
Yes,
Get in there.
I got a full meal.
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh,
The
that's a lot of peanut butter. Oh,
Hey, the Buckeyes are some of the greatest things ever created.
absolutely.
The peanut butter blob with the chocolate around it. It's not Reese's, but it's close.
Very good.
Desmond, what are you doing? Is that a PB&J when there's steak?
Brown pepper bagger this week.
You guys.
I just got stabbed by that thing. Good.
When I first put on the helmet, it felt like the world just instantly lifted off my shoulders.
I feel like the sky's the limit. With this, deaf people are able to do things on a much higher level.
If I plan on playing in a professional league, I won't miss anything.
The world is moving in the right direction.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. Thanks to generous supporters, we're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Your shipping manager left to find themselves, leaving you lost. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Sponsored jobs on Indeed are 2.5 times faster to first hire. Visit Indeed.com/hire.
Subway launched new $6.99 meal deals with any 6-inch sub.
Wait, Subway did what?
Dad?
Yep. For a limited time, get any 6-inch sub, chip, and a drink, all for just $6.99.
You know, Coach Prime, it's nice to finally have some free time. Gives you a chance to reflect on the important things.
Like how Aflac pays people money for the expenses health insurance doesn't cover.
Health insurance does leave a gap.
But Aflac gives people money to help close that gap. Oh, Coach Prime got one on the line too, baby.
See, that's how you hold up a trophy, trust me.
Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover.
Aflac
is an official sponsor of ESPN College Game Day.
I hope y'all hungry.
I'm glad I brought my own dinner.
There's growing excitement around the Mega Millions jackpot. Get yours today at your favorite retailer or online at palottery.com. So come on, just remember to please play responsibly. The jackpot is over $400 million. Mega Millions.
Changes in the air. It's a new era, new team-ups, new stages set. Whose time is it? We'll see. This isn't last season. Nah.
Puts up a three-pointer.
This time is different.
It's a battle of blue bloods in Las Vegas. Cooper Flag and the Blue Devils take on Hunter Dickinson and the Jayhawks. The Terry's Chocolate Vegas Showdown. Number 12 Duke, number 1 Kansas. Tuesday on ESPN.
This old horseshoe's seen a lot of great games. Games of the century, legends who played here. Today's something unusual, a top 5 game involving Indiana. It's the second time the Hoosiers have played in one of these, and the first time since 1967 when they went to the Rose Bowl with the Buckeyes undaunted, ready to fight that team across the field. Look at DJ Griff in here, whipping up just a great crowd. What do we got? We got some OH something back there, IOs, behind our friend DJ Griff. And in the midst of this sea of scarlet and gray, there is old Crimson, the Washington State flag, coming off a heartbreaker against New Mexico, and they play for the 2-Pac championship today against Oregon State, 2 remaining teams in the Pac-12. That'll be expanded by 2026 to include 5 Mountain West teams. Washington State and Oregon State today. Indiana side, Will Howard has become beloved. Oh, Will Howard, Desmond Howard. Oh, wow. Look at that picture, though. Look at the fade. You're a handsome man. Thank you. Appreciate that. That's a good haircut. You thought about bringing it back? I just might. Maybe like during the anniversary. The big mind can't comprehend. Well, Justin Fields is going to be our celebrity picker. Yes, he is. Justin Fields. Only thing softer than, oh no, that's Sharon Moore, our friend. It's a low blow. An awkward, unskilled person. Okay, all right. I don't know about that. That's the definition of a Hoosier. Yeah. And we've heard Curt Cignetti talking a little junk this morning. That's the way he goes. He's going to talk his talk now, for real. That turkey might be nice and moist if they can get a win here and earn their way into the Big Ten championship game. We'll see about that. How about earning some money, Pat?
Thank you so much, Reese. And as Peter displays a retrieving ability that I don't think any other dog could do, we have a massive moment for a freshman from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, whose major is finance. What's your name, brother?
Carson Bear.
Okay, Carson Bear, did you want to come here and do this kick, or were you just randomly selected for something you had no idea you were
I was randomly selected, but I've never seen my high school kicker miss a field goal. It can't be that hard.
Okay, so Pine Richard is the high school you went to. You got a great kicker. It can't be that hard. Last week, we gave away $800,000. This week, your kick's for $150,000. Have you ever kicked anything before?
I haven't played a kicking sport since second grade soccer, but that seems a little low. Out-of-state tuition's pretty high. We got to bump that up, I think.
Okay, all right. I already hate you, Carson. This is something that we haven't seen before. Carson's going old school barefoot. He took his shoe off. He's been marching around in the mud. I have no idea if this is a good decision or bad decision. 33 yards, $200,000. Carson Bear, are you ready?
Can we throw 10K to Buckeye-thon, too?
What is that?
It's just a charity here.
Yeah.
All right,
how about 100K to Buckeye-thon?
All right, yeah, 100K.
Okay. All right, 200,000 for you. 100K to Buckeye-thon. All you got to do is make a 33-yard field goal. Standard NFL extra point.
What do you think of this?
Barefoot, old school, very dumb, but I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, Peter will certainly.
Just throw it down there.
Okay, I would like to let everybody know here. $200,000 kick for Carson. $200,000 to Buckeye-thon. Is that the name?
It's Buckeye-thon.
Okay, Buckeye-thon. One kick only. I don't want to hear it from any of you whenever he misses this thing. Only one kick, $400,000. Stanford Steve, are you ready?
Ready. One.
Peter, are you ready?
I'm going to grab this ball.
Herbie, are you ready?
I'm ready, man.
Hurry up.
Yep.
Barefooted Carson Bear for $400,000.
You got this, Ben. You got it.
There's a bunch of signs. There's a bunch of intensity. There's a massive amount of people, including a dog, that are chanting, OH! OH! Jeez, Peter.
Hurry up. Hurry.
Peter, you're freezing. You're icing this kid, Peter.
It's gonna be, he's coming in to block it if you don't hurry.
Hoo, hoo, hoo.
Close.
Hoo, hoo, hoo. OH! You got no chance. You got Peter all in your brain, Carson. This is a part of kicking. Sometimes that dog is going to come around the corner and get in your mind. One kick only, $400,000, $200,000 to you. Ho, ho, ho!
I'm from Pittsburgh, your hometown. I'm from Pittsburgh.
Went to the heart. Went to the heart. Don't do it. Don't do it.
One more kick. Carson, with the dog, the people, the barefoot, your first attempt was wonderful. It was close. Can you put it through now for $250,000 to you? And $250,000 to Buckeye-thon. Let's make the world a better place, Yinzer. Let's make a kick. Kirk Herbstreit, that first kick was not bad.
It wasn't.
You don't have to wear the helmet. No, I don't care. I do not care at all. Check the side of the bus. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Carson Bear from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Barefoot, soggy sock all day. This guy's life is gonna suck for the next 24 hours. But could it be memorable as a $500,000 33-yard kick is made in front of the great people of OH? OH! Now, this guy sucks. That's what I thought. All right, Reese, nobody to nobody. Now, I'll give $100,000 to Buckeye-thon because I just learned about it. They sound like great people. This guy sucks at kicking. Back to you, Reese. Way to go, Peter.
That's nice. All right, Pat. Came up just a little bit short. Notre Dame, part of their Shamrock Series, hosting games around the country. Take on undefeated Army in Yankee Stadium. You know, Army's trying to start 10-0 for the first time in the history of the academy. Night game, Yankee Stadium, rain supposed to have stopped in the Northeast by then. Old Dominion, best in the game, helping the world keep promises, and Army keeps its promises by running the football, and they do it better than anyone in the country. But that Notre Dame defense is stout. What they have to deal with coming up inside Nick Saban's film room.
Nick, last year, Jeff Monken wanted to update his offense, modernize it. Didn't work out. When you think Service Academy, you're going to think option-based football. Now offensive coordinator Cody Worley wants to run basic plays, but a lot of different presentations.
Well, I think, first of all, Army wants to run the ball, and they're going to try to create a numbers advantage for themselves in two ways, by the backfield action or by the formation to try to outflank the defense. So here they're in their base formation. You're going to see the defense wants to play 5 guys, 1 guy in the middle. So these two safeties can go both ways, and they're keying these 2 guys. And Army is going to run their base option, create great angles for themselves on the perimeter by cracking and arcing, pitch the ball, make an explosive play on the perimeter.
False motion helped them get some of those angles too.
Next time, all right, so these same guys, these 2 guys are tied to these 2 guys. So both of these guys are going to go this way, but the quarterback's going to go the other way, and now the safeties are out of position. They've created a numbers advantage for themselves on the weak side of the formation, and the defense does not have enough guys to match up, and it's an easy run for a touchdown.
Bryson Daly's done a whole lot of that this year. Now what about the pass?
All right, now, same deal. These 2 guys are tied to these 2 guys. All right, but now they're going to do a hard play action pass. Now, the deal is this becomes blitz coverage. This guy's got bad eyes. This guy's got bad eyes. And the receiver's going to run right by him. They're going to make an explosive play. They only throw the ball 13% of the time, but they lead the nation with like 11 yards per catch because they do such a good job of play action pass.
Okay, now this is Notre Dame's defense against Navy, and the thought might be, look, Notre Dame's seen this before. They blew out Navy. So what is it that Notre Dame has done well? Even though I know there are differences in the offenses, but what have they done well against option-based?
Okay, so they're going to play a little different. Rather than having 2 split safeties, they have the opportunity to put 5 guys on both sides and this guy in the middle where he can run the alley both ways, all right, which is helpful to the option, but helps you play the play action pass a little bit better. So now you see they have run support on both sides. Navy has no number advantage here, all right, so they make a good play on defense. But then I think it's necessary that you can play this split safety look where these 2 guys are tied to these guys so you can create an advantage for yourself because they're still what? They got 5 guys on that side, they got 5 guys on this side, and they're going to create the extra guy with one of these 2. Those 2 guys split, they still get run support out of the safety, and he makes a great tackle for a 2-yard gain.
All right, so we've heard this week, Al Golden, the defensive coordinator, Marcus Freeman, have said, don't approach this as Navy 2.0. What's the biggest difference at Notre Dame, biggest challenge they'll have against Army that maybe they didn't see against Navy?
As I said before, Army is going to run the ball. So they're going to be happy and patient enough to make 3 yards of play and keep the ball away from Notre Dame by constantly running, changing the picture, and creating advantage for them number-wise to be able to run the ball.
These matchups are steeped in the history of college football, but only the 10th time they've met as ranked opponents. First time since Army was winning Heisman trophies. Pete Dawkins in 1958. The Irish have dominated the series of late. But if Army, the Black Knights of the Hudson, are to win today, perhaps they will have to follow the instruction of a wise old coach who once said, you got to be sound in the kicking game, Marty Smith.
Thank you, Reese. Good morning. If undefeated Army is to upset Notre Dame today at Yankee Stadium, it may take a big play from their special teams. Since Sean Saturnio was named Army Special Teams Coordinator in 2020, the Black Knights have blocked 11 punts. That's tied for best in the nation over the past 5 seasons. But it isn't just on-field performance or statistics that make Coach Sat extraordinary. It's the deep personal connections that he builds with his players. He tells me that those deep personal connections are a direct derivative of lessons learned about love and joy from his younger brother, Joe. This walk, taken daily by Army Special Teams Coordinator Sean Saturnio and his brother Joe across the pristine West Point campus, epitomizes an impenetrable bond, a brotherhood.
Remember, they were all over here in the grass the other day. We'll just walk and just be together. I get to have days where I can spend time with him, with someone who's helped mold me so much.
When they go and take their walks, it's the time for them to be brothers, just brothers, and talk to their mom because they miss her a lot.
Hey, Mama. Hi, Mom. You doing good, Mom? Yeah. Good. Joe and I are walking Ollie over here. We love you. You guys have a blessed rest of the today. Love you. Love you, too. No, Mama.
Bill and Maureen Saturnio raised 3 boys in Hilo, Hawaii. Their youngest, Joe, was born in 1976 with Down syndrome.
When we did realize that Joe was different, he was special. And even more so in a world that doesn't value that type of specialness sometimes, my brother Jason and myself was like, you know, we are gonna protect him with our lives if we have to.
Joe was never far from his brothers. Sean says football provided a platform for the Saturnio family to deepen their connections and spend time together. In January 2022, with their mother's health declining, Joe moved nearly 5,000 miles from Hawaii to West Point to live with Sean and his wife Sharon. Now 48 years old, you'll find Joe lending a hand in the Army equipment room.
Our players will see these nicely folded towels and they're like, oh, Uncle Joe must have been here today.
When I walked in this morning, it just automatically put a smile on my face because I know who it was. Some of those towels he's folded for some of these guys are out there fighting for our country, are out there leading soldiers.
So when you're folding those towels, what are you thinking about?
Serve the country and serve for the boys.
He loves this team. He loves being a part of something bigger. And so that's his way to serve.
What's up, big man? How you doing? Man? Hey, what's up, player?
So in the islands, everyone is auntie or uncle. It's just a big family thing. So all the players call Joe Uncle Joe.
Uncle Joe, how are you? Good to see you. What's up, Uncle Joe? How we doing, dog? Good.
You might be having the worst day, absolutely, and Joe's gonna come up and he's gonna hug you and he's gonna give you all the love that he has.
Love you.
And I like to think that Coach Sat gets all of his motivation and his wisdom from Joe.
During fall camp, Coach Saturnio shared his feelings for his brother with the team.
Currently, the average life expectancy for people with Downs is between 50 and 60 years old. Half of people with Down syndrome will start developing Alzheimer's. His short-term memory is starting to slip, but he always has a smile on his face. And it's because of Joe that I can love and pour into you guys because of how much love has been poured into me.
So much of how I love my boys has been because of Joe. And I wanted them to get a glimpse of that. Joe's touched every life that he's touched. And the way there'll be future leaders in the United States Army, they'll feel Joe because of that. You learn from Joe that you love just to love. At the end of the day, I want to look and say, you know what, did I live the type of life that my younger brother modeled for me his entire life? He's helped me truly understand what unconditional love is about.
Sean Saturnio told me that football always provided a way for Joe to feel like a regular kid and for others to see him the same. And while he and Jason spent their entire lives protecting Joe and teaching Joe, Sean told me it was actually Joe who was protecting and teaching them with his common sense perspective and boundless joy. Jess?
Absolutely beautiful story, Marty. Thank you so much. Now, as part of the Shamrock Series, Notre Dame is debuting this incredible uniform tonight as they take on the undefeated Army at Yankee Stadium. You can see the slightly beveled gold decals here, head to toe. It's going to look amazing. Also, we got Utah. They have a lovely yearly tradition where they hand paint helmets. This one is all about family and strength. It says Malama Lahaina, which stands for Take Care of Lahaina, in honor of all the devastating fires that have happened in Maui. And last but not least, USC will be rocking, we've seen this all before, the new Nike Kobe 6 USC cleat, which you can remember from Kobe back in Christmas 2010. They're hoping to embody the Mamba mentality because a win against UCLA will make them bowl eligible. Reese, guys, I'm joining you in the stadium real soon.
And Jess will start to feel the intensity rise as we've moved inside the horseshoe, awaiting a just afternoon kickoff between Indiana and Ohio State. DoorDash counting us down as we hit the 11 o'clock hour. We did not give away any field goal money. We had a little bit of fun. There was close for a minute at the beginning. Almost gave away some money with a Billy Napier pass. And then here we are inside for this top 5 showdown. You know, when Kurt Signetti was introduced at Assembly Hall in Bloomington after taking the Indiana job, he took a shot at Purdue. That's predictable. But then he took a shot at Michigan and Ohio State also. Said later, I might have gotten a little bit carried away about it. Needed to find out if our fans were dead or just asleep. Well, Indiana's been jolted from a century-long slumber, and they're wide awake with an offensive execution machine that is second in the nation in scoring and offensive efficiency. But really, for the first time all season, Michigan was able to slow that thing down, holding them to 18 yards in the second half. And here comes Ohio State. And that Ohio State defense ready to prove to the Hoosier boss he's not the only one that can talk the talk and walk the walk.
Throws in the end zone, incomplete, and Ohio State gets a goal line stand.
It always starts up front. They're good up front. They've got good team speed, quickness. They tackle well. They've got some tenacity around them, so they're good on defense.
Yeah, Ohio State's defense is great. They're filled with a lot of great players, and they run their scheme pretty well. So, we got to come ready to go, ready to attack them.
To the end zone, touchdown, Keyshawn Williams.
I really say they take what you give him. He's very patient in what he does, and he stays on schedule.
He's very efficient, very accurate, and their whole offense, receivers, very physical at the top of the route.
They have good players. They know exactly how they're trying to attack you, and they don't turn the ball over.
Every time you go out, you make a statement. And, next week's news is going to be based on Saturday's result.
This is strength versus strength. When the Hoosiers have the ball, they're scoring 44 points per game, and Ohio State tied for the nation's lead, allowing just over 10 points per game. You don't move it easily against them, but Indiana's been so crisp and so precise on offense this year, Nick.
Right, I think the key for Indiana on offense is how do they match up front with Ohio State's defensive line? Because Indiana's whole offense is based on the premise that all of our runs are going to have an advantage throw or an RPO, and Curtis Rourke has done a great job of executing that. If Ohio State can play split safeties, 2 high safeties, and stop the run with the 6 guys in the box, then Indiana's going to have a hard time because they'll take all those easy throws away. If they force them to play middle of the field coverage and bring an extra guy in the box to stop the run, then that's going to be to Indiana's advantage.
Yeah, Coach, when I watch Indiana's offense, they're very multiple, right? But when you look at the film, they have like a pro-style offense using like spread principles. And we're going to take a look at today's Goodyear Road Test presented by Goodyear. Let's go. Now, listen, this is an RPO you was talking about right here, Coach. Now, he's going to read the end. The end crashes down, so he's going to run the ball. He goes to run, the cornerback triggers in the blitz. So what does he do? He throws the ball out to Miles Price, who has a blocker, easy touchdown. I tell you what, the Buckeyes DBs, Denzel Burke, Davidson, Ickman Nelson, they better be ready for the back shoulder throws. Look at this ball placement right here to Elijah Surratt. perfect ball placement. They love throwing back shoulder throws. In the offensive line, they work so well as a unit. Look at the center. Mike Koenig picks up 2 blitzers, sending the running back Justice Ellison on his way untouched to the end zone. So they work really good as a unit. You know, no stars up front, but they do what they do extremely well. They love the RPO game, but guys, I'm telling you, those cornerbacks for Ohio State, be ready for the back shoulder throws all day long.
Yeah, and I think the offense for Indiana has certainly been efficient. They got into a close one with Michigan, who obviously has the size and speed up front that they're going to have to deal with today.
Yeah.
But I have some film on this Ohio State defense. You hear about all the names, JTT, Caleb Downs, you name it. But the scheme, strategy, technique, phenomenal. And the timing of the calls from Jim Knowles since he's got here has seemingly been perfect. Now, here's some Ohio State defense, I do believe. We have film. Boom! Let's do this thing. So obviously, you could scheme some pressure. Keep the quarterback guessing. Now, this is great timing of the pressure, obviously. Some people are late off the ball. They run a little bit of a stun here. What are you going to do? Under, pin, alright! And down goes the quarterback. They scheme it up, and then they're able to disguise. Everybody's going, right? Yes. Second play, the coverage ends up being in great position. They're trying to run a scissors route out there. Okay, let's put these 2 corners on a little bit of an island. So we got 2-on-2, but they're going to run into each other. We drop JTT into coverage. Now you got 3 people on 2 people. What does that cause? Well, hesitation, which ends up with what? Another sack. This Ohio State defense is scheming sacks, scheming negative plays. And then here, this is just an unbelievable job of seeing the ball, getting the ball, taking the ball away. When Penn State fans thought this was a touchdown, ref comes in and says, Reason why? Doesn't get in time and phase quick enough, so he's still facing the corner. Or wide receiver, able to get his ball on it. Phenomenal ball control. The athletes are across the board. And then whenever you talk about what Jim Knowles has been able to do, it's a very, very stout defense. They're like number 1 or number 2 in everything, and certainly going to be Cignetti's toughest test.
Oh, yeah. 2 keys in Ohio State winning this game on defense. One is how much pressure they put on the quarterback with or without blitz. And the second is, can they cover the Indiana receivers? There's a heck of a win up today.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to affect the
big win.
I expect Indiana to try to jump on them early. Get ahead 14-0 and then hold on, because time will tell, boy.
Or get up 7-6 and call timeout and take a big picture. Might want to try that today. Hey, never know. You never know. You may want to, as much trash talk Kurt's been throwing, he may want to try to pull that one from 1974. Coach, I think you nailed it. When Michigan played these guys, they held them to 40 yards rushing with split safety and their ability to stop the run. They took the RPO game away. That was the most sluggish IU looked all year. Ohio State studied that tape, and that's what they're going to try to do, is try to negate that run game. Now, it's tough to do. And if I'm Indiana, if you can get that safety down and you get 7 or 8 guys hovering around the line of scrimmage, that's where Rourke can really do his damage. This kid's been creating. You know, he does not get flustered at all when he gets pressure. Yeah. His ability to create today, if they're going to compete, he's going to be the difference in being able to make plays.
Yeah, but Ohio State's been more aggressive on defense in these last few games. And I think they can do that because, you know, your corners put the limitations on your defense. If they can cover, then you can pressure. And I think they'll do more of that and create more negative plays today. They've been very effective.
Since that Oregon game, their blitz rate's gone through the roof compared to where they were pregame.
I think the official capacity here is like a little under 103,000. There might be 110,000 in here today. Indiana, 1-70 against top 5 opponents all time.
You're due. They're due here.
I mean, they were taking pictures with the scoreboard. That's where they were. And now there's a chance.
New center. We'll talk a little bit more about that. You see the Big 12 champion quarterback trying to lead his team to a Big 10 title this year.
Drawing the most flavor out of something is a nuanced process. And if that doesn't work, deep fry it until it tastes delicious. Arby's, we have the meat.
The Cuisinart Air Fryer Toaster Oven can air fry, toast, bake, grill, and broil. So you can break up with your oven. It's a work of Cuisinart.
This is an important message for anyone and everyone with Medicare. If Medicare is important to you, then you need to hear this message because Medicare plans can change every year, and right now is the 2025 Medicare Annual Enrollment Period. That's right, the Medicare Annual Enrollment Period is now, but it ends December 7th. 2025 Medicare Advantage plans are now available, so now's the time for everyone on Medicare to call in to check up on their Medicare plan and benefits. Call now for your free 2025 Medicare coverage checkup. We can see if there are changes to your plan in the coming year or if there is a 2025 Medicare Advantage plan available in your area with additional benefits. Did you know that Medicare Advantage plans can change each and every year? Call now and a licensed insurance agent can look up your plan and see if there are any changes in your current plan in the upcoming year. The call and Medicare checkup are free.
I'm on Medicare. Should I call?
Yes, now is the best time for everyone on Medicare to call for your free 2025 Medicare coverage checkup.
Why should I call?
We can look up your plan and see if there's a Medicare Advantage plan available in your area with additional benefits. You don't get a plan with additional benefits automatically. Call now before the Medicare Annual Enrollment Period ends December 7th. If you're on Medicare, now's the time to call. 2025 Medicare Advantage plans are now available, so everyone on Medicare can call to see if a Medicare Advantage plan may be better for you and if there are any changes to your current Medicare plan in the coming year. It's your free Medicare coverage checkup at absolutely no cost to you. Just call the number on your screen and speak with a licensed insurance agent who can check up on your plan and answer your questions. Anyone with Medicare can call. The call and 2025 Medicare coverage checkup are free with no obligation. You can call now even if you called before, and the call is free.
Just call 800-992-4507. 800-992-4507.
A message from the Sonic Department of Research and Deliciousment.
We topped off the new Sonic Smasher you love with our creamy queso. With hand-smashed patties made to order, it's a cheesy love letter to your taste buds, and they're about to get real emotional. The new Double Sonic Queso Smasher, part of our Smasher lineup.
Hang on, Sloopy! The Buckeyes are here to dot that I in Script, Ohio. What message are we sending to the crowd today?
Let's flip the script. Indiana beats Ohio State by 3 scores.
They can't even digest that.
This game is going to have implications for the next 30 years.
Little bit gray, little windy, little bit of just a hint of a nip in the air.
Big Ten football.
B1G. Indiana and Ohio State. But you know, it's not the only conference race in play. What about Arizona State and BYU? Picked to finish last in the Big 12. That's a little bit nicer weather. 3:30 Eastern time on ESPN. You know, it's homecoming and senior day in Tempe. A chance to win their way in the conference championship game. BYU's perfect season largely ruined by a Kansas pooch punt off Evan Johnson. Jayhawks recovered it, set up a touchdown, and then Jake Retzloff, his QBR the last 2 games on a scale of 100, 33. Now, emotion's going to be running high for Sam Levitt. You know Sam Levitt's dad? Sam Levitt's brother? Yeah. Played for BYU. Did he get recruited by BYU?
No, sir.
Not. He did not.
No, sir.
He said also he didn't get recruited by Arizona State. He started at Michigan State. Now he's there with Cam Scatteraboo. This club has played great for Kenny Dillingham. Now, you might not know Arizona State, so let's get to know them a little bit. There is Scatteraboo, the Sacramento State transfer. He's trimmed up. He's explosive. He's second to Genty in forced missed tackles this year.
It's Mike Allstott. That's what he looks like running around right there. Looks like the A-train right there.
There's our guy Levitt, who's going to be loving the opportunity to play in this game today. 14 touchdown passes, only 3 picks. And then Kenny Dillingham, the youngest FBS head coach for the Sun Devils, had this to say.
Have I ever talked about one game being bigger than another? Never, because I really don't care. We just got to be the best version of us tomorrow. If we come out with a little bit of passion, like we will, because that place is going to be rocking, and we take care of the football, and we don't let them have perimeter runs, we'll win the football game. This will be a long day for the freaking Cougars. Here we go. Coach Ragle, on you.
I like this new generation of coaches. Well, you know what? Signetti and Kenny are different generations, but they're both talking the same language. In the Big 12, just to clear up who has a chance to win their way in, BYU, Colorado win the rest of their games, and they go to the Big 12 championship game. BYU, if they were to lose, that gives Arizona State a clear path. But if BYU loses out, that could hurt the Sun Devils. And even though Iowa State plays none of them, they've got the toughest strength of schedule in the Big 12. And if it winds up in a big logjam, the Cyclones are still alive. So who would have thought Arizona State picked to finish dead last?
Yeah.
Chance to win the Big 12. No.
I tell you what, in last week we did the picks. I was, jokingly talking about why are we picking Arizona State versus Kansas State. And boy, did I find out how great Arizona State is. That was a job that Kenny Dillingham was doing. Like, I know they had 2 losses, but they were off everybody's radar, right? But winning last week, I think I'm looking at this team like, okay, they can really contend. The way they play offense, defense, impressed with their receiver. Jordan Tyson. This kid has almost 800 yards receiving, 9 touchdowns, but 5 touchdowns in the last 3 games. So I'm buying into what Dillingham is doing.
And just to remind people, we did a little bio there on Arizona State. Dillingham he had Bo Nix. He was the first offensive coordinator with Dan Lanning there at Oregon to work with Bo Nix. Did such a good job. He ends up getting the head job at ASU. Very, coach knows him really well. One of the more respected up-and-coming offensive minds in the game. So this is not an accident. And they have a balanced, explosive attack. Big 12's interesting because it's so wide open. That Colorado-Kansas game, to me, I can't wait to watch that. Colorado has become the team. We talked about them really the last 3 or 4 weeks, how much they've improved in the trenches. I know Travis Hunter creates a lot of attention, Shedeur Sanders. They're going up against a Kansas team that is much like Florida, found themselves in the middle of the year and have become a very confident, dangerous team. Secondary led by Kobe Bryant, maybe one of the best secondaries nobody's talking about. They will challenge this Colorado passing attack today.
Yeah, but I think Colorado is playing very well complementary. They're playing better on defense. They're not one-dimensional on offense anymore. They can run the ball some. They're a balanced team. So I think they're in a really, really good position to be able to do well today against Kansas.
I think everybody's forgetting that there is a mathematical possibility that West Virginia makes it to the Big 12 championship.
Tell me what that is.
Well, I don't know all the outcomes, but I do know that if you look at recent outcomes in this Big 12, the Colorado Buffalo is certainly hot. They're playing their best football right now. They're building in the right direction. Yeah. Arizona State, you talked about that wideout for the last 3 games. Sam Levitt, redshirt freshman, he has 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions over the last 3 games. He's playing his best ball. Then you think about Kansas, who can just ruin everybody's day like
that's what they've been doing the last 2 weeks.
And they've been playing great. It's like a lot of teams playing great football late, which is when you want it, but only one person can obviously win the Big 12.
Well, Arizona State has something going for it, though, because, when your team buys into something like, Coach Dillingham said, activate the Valley.
Yeah.
And, that reminds me of our team last year. We were getting killed. We got beat by Texas. We barely beat South Florida at South Florida. I mean, we're getting killed. The dynasty's done. Yep. Alabama's done. They're never going to win another game. Yeah. And I just went in and gave a regular old pep talk, never thought anything about it. And I just said, we need to let all naysayers know. Well, Terrion Arnold and Jalen Milroe take that and make it a public thing. But that became the rallying cry of our team. So hold on. Activate the Valley is kind of their rallying cry. And, when teams buy into that, man, you never know what can happen.
Yeah.
I know you contributed to that.
Yeah, certainly. We had a good commercial for those T-shirts. Great commercial, great.
Maven of this social media business. So let's get ahead of this. Is there anything about Activate the Valley that I should know? Can you think of a thing? Is it okay to say Activate the Valley?
You're good.
Okay. All right. I'm just checking.
Let me say or no. They did.
Hey,
they ran.
You know what? I had a little help in that, too, and I've seen not one penny of royalties from Milroe and Terrion Arnold. I've seen nothing from those cats.
That's a good
Half-Life trivia question there, Steve?
Yes, sir. Aflac trivia. Who was the last Arizona State head coach to win an outright conference title?
Bruce Snyder.
Yep, 1996.
Yeah, that was quick.
Easy. That was easy.
I'm going to go John Cooper. You killed him with Bruce Snyder.
Think about everything Arizona State has had to battle, too. A lot of controversy over the last couple of years out there.
A little bit. Getting going. How about Riley Leonard? This guy's playing much better now. And we took a little dig. Said, look at their resume a little bit closer. But but they're playing great football challenge against Army coming up. And Justin Fields will be our celebrity guest picker here in the Horseshoe and LC in the headgear coming up.
This time of year, there's one workshop on everyone's mind. The one that spends the whole year making toys and gifts. The Home Depot Kids Workshop, teaching those who will one day build their own homes and communities that doing is a gift you can share with everyone. Happy holidays from the Home Depot.
Man, that sandwich looks lonely, and that's sad. So let Jimmy John's fix that by adding free chips and a free drink. Turn an 8-inch sandwich or wrap into a combo for free after 2 p.m. Only at Jimmy John's.
For nearly 200 years, big beverage companies have been selling us billions of single-use sugary drinks using the same old one-size-fits-all playbook. Until now. Meet Circle, the beverage platform of the future. These fully adjustable flavor cartridges let you customize your water with the exact amount of flavor you prefer, transforming water into your favorite beverage. Finally, water is your favorite beverage. Circle, your water, your way.
ESPN Bet has seen green, Steven's A-list. Why can't I have a cool sounding featured bet?
Like what?
Molly's matchups.
I don't love it.
Molly's money lines. They call me the queen of money lines.
Do they call you that?
They should.
Mad Dogs, dogs. Mad Dogs, dogs! Yeah, I get it. It's no Steven's A-list.
Ah! Sign up for ESPN Bet to receive your welcome bonus and your first 30 days of ESPN Plus on us.
I would never forget the picture that I have. I'm the only one that's not smiling. Even though I'm with my close friends, I felt alone. I didn't feel pretty. I didn't feel confident. When I got Invisalign, I built my confidence. It was the best investment that I could do.
I tried everything for my stubborn dandruff, and then I found Nizoral. Nizoral works differently to get to the root cause of dandruff. In fact, its active ingredient is 10 times more effective at fighting fungus, the primary cause of dandruff. Say goodbye to stubborn dandruff with Nizoral.
Hey, Doc, if you had to choose, would you give yourself a root canal or run payroll?
Oh, run payroll. Huh? Paying my team with Gusto takes just a few clicks. They automatically file my taxes for me, too.
Can I run payroll too? Choose payroll without the pain. That's working with Gusto.
You know how on Thanksgiving you have to loosen your belt a little? Well, take your pads off. Arby's deep-fried turkey is here all month. Arby's, we have the meat.
So this is pickleball?
Pickle!
Oh, these guys are intense. With E-Trade from Morgan Stanley, we're ready for whatever gets served up.
Dude, you gotta work on your trash talk.
I'd rather work on saving for retirement. Or college, since you like to get schooled. That's a pretty good burn, right?
Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, ready for every challenge the road game may bring. Goodyear is more driven. We are in Columbus at Yankee Stadium, Notre Dame and Army. You know, 100 years ago, another New York City ballpark, the Polo Grounds, hosted the Irish and the Cadets, and the famed Grantland Rice penned some of the most famous words in journalism outlined against the blue-gray October sky. The Four Horsemen rode again. In dramatic lore, they are famine, pestilence, destruction, and death. Oh, they just don't write them like they used to now, do they? But today, outlined against a dark November sky, it will be Army trying to ride again and upset the Irish's playoff hopes, and perhaps the loser will be swept over the precipice in Yankee Stadium.
It's not pretty. It's not the sexiest, but they find ways to do it.
We come out playing different than everybody else, just how physical we play.
Just that tough guy, like we're gonna go right at you mentality.
They are not afraid to pound into attacking.
Ball thrown, tipped, intercepted, pick six, Notre Dame!
One thing about Notre Dame is they play really fundamentally sound. You know, they're not gonna give you any freebies.
If we can't run the ball effectively against Notre Dame, we're gonna struggle to win. They're big, they're physical, they do what they're coached to do.
When you look at the Notre Dame defense, you look at just playing disciplined football. But then you look at the havoc we can create.
The way I like to describe our defense is organized chaos. When that ball snaps, you never really know what you're going to get.
On to the next one, let's go.
There's a lot at stake with this matchup. We beat them, they're out, and if they beat us, we're out. We're going in this game expecting a dogfight, and we're excited for it.
Now, Army already has a spot in the American Conference Championship game. They'll play Tulane for that, stay in the playoff race. They need to win this game. The last time that Army beat Notre Dame, Kirk, they had a Heisman Trophy winner on their side, our friend Pete Dawkins, 1958.
1958. My dad was a sophomore that year here at Ohio State. You know, one thing about Jeff Monken, I think he prides himself on being more than, oh, that's Army, they run the football. And if there's ever a game where he's going to have to showcase that, it's this game. Al Golden has a defense that can outmatch them physically, and he is going to have to be able to make some big plays throwing the football, which they've been really good on passing yards per attempt. To me, if there's one guy to watch for Notre Dame, it's Xavier Watts, the safety, because he's got the role of filling the alley on the option. And as you know, better than anybody, eye discipline as a safety where when they do come down the line and they start to throw the ball, he's got to be careful of committing to the run and they go over top of his head. Right, so his discipline, I think, in run support and play action will be critical today.
Well, Army's going to run the ball. Yeah. They're going to try to run the ball, and all they got to do is be patient to make 2.5, 3.5 yards of play.
Yeah.
You know, we played the Citadel in 2018, and they had the same kind of offense. And it makes you feel like a kid when somebody's playing keep away and you can't get the ball and you get frustrated. And it's 10-10 in the third quarter, and it's like we're not playing that bad, but we never have the ball, so how can we score? That's the chance that Army has today against Notre Dame. If they can make that happen, they're going to have a chance in this game.
What was that final?
I can't remember.
Yeah. We won. I think you figured it out. 51-17.
To your point about
keep away, man.
To your point about keep-aways, this Notre Dame defense is like either number 1 or number 3 in the country in takeaways. And Army's like number 3 in the country in giveaways. And against Navy earlier this year, Notre Dame forced 5 turnovers. I mean, they got the ball back quickly. And you want to talk about running the ball for Army. Riley Leonard has 13 rushing touchdowns to 12 passing touchdowns on the season. It's like Notre Dame's running the ball too, and Riley has become a pivotal point of that. In the last 8 weeks, I think their average point margin of victory is like 30-some points or something like that for this Notre Dame team. Right. They're rolling. So is Army. A lot on the line there in New York.
I tell you what, I like Notre Dame's defense because they've gotten much better as the season progressed. So before their bye week, they were like 75th in the nation against the run. After the bye week, they became 7th against the run. So Al Golden made some adjustments. Watch for Howard Cross right there in the middle, and then Jack Kaiser, the linebacker. Those two guys are going to be key in stopping that run today.
Yeah. You know, it's been amazing about Notre Dame. They've had some huge injuries on defense.
That's very true.
And the next guys just step up, and they continue to play great. By the way,
they can't slip.
Yeah, no. Riley Leonard, one more rushing touchdown to set the Notre Dame season record for a quarterback. Yeah. He's been terrific, especially running the ball. In the swamp, Ole Miss and Florida. Whenever I see this matchup there, I think of the last time Ole Miss won in this series, 2008. They blocked an extra point late, and Tebow gave that promise. The promise speech is etched into the stone tablets at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. Here's Jackson Dart.
Well, I think Jackson Dart is one of the fantastic players in the country. And when Ole Miss gets it rolling, and they can run the ball, and the play-action passing game that goes with the explosive plays that they can make offensively, and Jackson Dart is the guy that does that. Trey Harris is supposed to play in this game, so he can make a huge impact on the big plays.
Yeah, and Trey Harris is a guy they've missed, I believe, probably the last 3 games. He was their leading receiver before he got injured. He's going to give them a shot in the arm as far as their offense is concerned. And then you got Watkins, too. Now, Jordan Watkins, he picked up the slack in Trey's absence. Now, he's faster than fast. I mean, this guy, like, he records fast and he plays fast. Really small, maybe about 5'11", 176 pounds, but he can fly, Kirk.
Yeah, it's a balanced attack. When you look at these systems, it spread you sideline to sideline. They make you commit numbers. The big thing to me is going to be communication for Jackson Dart. His experience in playing in big games in these SEC stadiums will be critical, but they're going to have to not only hit big plays throwing the ball, it's going to be all about what they can do at the line of scrimmage and a revved up Gators defense. They've proven that the last couple weeks, and Lagway's been a big part of it.
Yeah, Lagway's a huge part of it. Obviously back healthy. I mean, huge win a week ago over LSU. And whenever you think about what Lagway's able to do on that offensive side with Napier being able to spin it the way he is, if you get that run game going alongside Lagway, You're talking about a real team down there in Florida.
And Jaden Bounce stepped up as a true freshman. I mean, they've had some injuries. Remember, Etienne went to Georgia. Yep. They thought, what are we going to do at running back? That guy is a powerful back.
It's SEC triple header. I had some fun with Ole Miss and the whole thing about Lane saying maybe you don't want to play in the conference championship game. I do believe Ole Miss can win the national championship if they get in. Avoid the upset. Alabama's got to avoid the upset on the road at Oklahoma tonight. Kirk will be calling that one. Pete Thamel with his game day check down.
Thanks, Reese. We're going to start with some breaking news today for Pitt. Eli Holstein will start for the Panthers at Louisville. That just broke in the last few minutes. Arizona State with a huge move, signing its 2 coordinators, Marcus Arroyo and Brian Ward, to 3-year deals today. They're staving off poachers for coordinators at 8-2. The Ohio State Buckeyes, as we've talked about today, have reshuffled their offensive line. Carson Hinsman moves to center. Austin Saraveld gets his 3rd start at guard this year. And Michigan All-American Will Johnson will miss the game against Northwestern today. It may be more important for the people in Columbus. Sources have told me he's unlikely to play in the game next week. He's been battling a toe injury.
Pete, that will not be useful for the Wolverines' hope for an upset next week against those receivers that the Buckeyes can bring in. The best doggone band in the land, they say. Trying to clean things up around here. Having a time to kick off. It's over a half hour. Yeah, exactly. Hey, there's the Maple Missile. That's what they call Curtis Rourke trying to lead the Hoosiers to a landmark win.
Wolverine blood in this guy.
Yes, sir.
While you were away, there were some developments. Fortunately, DoorDash can quickly come to your rescue. Your door to more. DoorDash.
Drawing the most flavor out of something is a nuanced process. And if that doesn't work, deep fry it until it tastes delicious. Arby's, we have the meat.
All right, Tina, 6 is hard to beat.
Not for us.
Okay, not soccer, but
Football.
Yes. We honeymooned here.
Mallorca.
Yes. Pass.
No, we don't pass, Tina. Come on.
They help give you more.
A tax professional.
And they have a 97% satisfaction rating.
Salami?
You could have done it in a British accent.
That's helpful, Randy.
For savings and service, get more with Geico.
Team, it's been a grind, but I think I've aged you well. Some might say perfect. Who's ready to show who's the cheesiest?
I woke up feeling the cheesiest, coach!
Cheez-It, official sponsor of the college football playoff. On a Longing, Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
Ramon, what are you doing here? Texting another conference now.
Yeah, but it's like on the other side of the country. It's really, really far.
But you're not even on our schedule this season.
Maybe we can meet you in the playoffs.
That's crazy talk.
You know what else is crazy? Getting all that Dr. Pepper flavor with 0 sugar.
But Dr. Pepper doesn't have a questionable secondary like Tech does.
Here, catch!
And that's why you're a mascot.
College football, it's a Pepper thing.
Hims was made for guys who want to see results, whether it's for hair loss, weight loss, or ED. Get quality care 100% online. Find the treatment that works for you. Get started today at hims.com.
Advil liquid gels are faster and stronger than Tylenol rapid release gels. Also from Advil, Advil Targeted Relief, the only topical with 4 powerful pain-fighting ingredients that start working on contact and lasts up to 8 hours.
A message from the Sonic Department of Research and Deliciousment.
We topped off the new Sonic Smasher you love with our creamy queso. With hand-smashed patties made to order, it's a cheesy love letter to your taste buds, and they're about to get real emotional. The new Double Sonic Queso Smasher, part of our Smasher lineup.
Whee!
Today's the day!
Woohoo!
There's the second most famous groundhog in Pennsylvania.
Am I late?
Just in time.
Nice. Holiday scratch-offs from the Pennsylvania Lottery.
Things just got very merry. Keep on scratching.
In 2010, Amex founded Small Business Saturday, which has since helped generate over $200 billion in sales. Because when you shop small, you make your community great.
I'm getting it.
So on Small Business Saturday, November 30th, shop small. Supporting small business communities. That's the powerful backing of American Express.
Only 2 times in 7 decades have the Hoosiers been able to knock off Ohio State about 40 minutes away from kickoff here in the Horseshoe for this top 5 battle. Ohio State quarterback Will Howard is significantly more accurate than he's ever been as the Buckeyes make their way onto the field, and there's no question that Howard is their leader. He says that Ryan Day and Chip Kelly have taught him there are completions all over the field, but he's also done significant work on his mechanics with his quarterback coach, Jeff Christensen, who says he has to be synced up, and sometimes he has some problems because he's got big muscles, big hips, a big ass that can get in the way. But when Seth McLaughlin went down to injury, it was Will Howard's big brass leadership that helped Ohio State make a quick pivot and believe that that offense is going to keep on humming.
That was awesome.
Howard rolling to his left, looking to throw. Fires deep down the right side. Ibuka got it to the goal line for a touchdown.
He's tough. He's smart. He's a great teammate, and he drives this team. This is a man's man.
We have to weather the storm, taking care of the football, finding holes, and staying on track, making things happen.
They've got good schemes to spread you out, put you in conflict. You got to defend the entire length of the field.
They're extremely dynamic. They're explosive when they get the ball in their hands. The biggest thing with them is, keeping them in front of us.
Pressure off the edge, and it's intercepted. Roll out the big red carpet.
They play a lot of zone coverage. They're going to move the front a little bit. They're going to try to do some different things to throw us off and mess with our eyes.
You really got to be extremely disciplined with your eyes and where your feet are at.
It's going to come down to physicality. Who's winning the line of scrimmage and who's running and hitting.
We responded to every challenge, and I expect us to respond to this one.
And what a matchup this is. Indiana defense led by a couple of James Madison transfers, Naden Fisher up there, Mikhail Kamara that we've talked about, but this Ohio State offense, yards per play, top 3 in the country. And right now, this matchup, this is what we're waiting to see here, to see if Ohio State's offense can do this damage against the Hoosiers.
Well, we talked about Will Howard, but he's the key because Ohio State has so many weapons. 2 great running backs, 3 or 4 really good wide receivers. So if he can distribute the ball effectively, they're going to be pretty good on offense. But I think a real key in this game is Indiana does have a much better defensive line than people give them credit for. And with Ohio State's issues in the offensive line due to injury, how's that going to impact Will Howard's ability to effectively go out and execute?
Last time we were doing this, Ohio State had to reshuffle the deck on that left side at State College, and they did a really good job. So we'll see what they're able to do today against IU. This is Will Howard. You compare, look at his numbers, guys. Comparing him to Dylan Gabriel, who's in the same conference as a Heisman frontrunner, Curtis Rourke, who gets talked about all year, Jackson Dart, who's looked at as having a great year. Howard is not ever talked about with those names, ever. And yet, look at the year that he's put together, the transfer from Kansas State. And the reason I think that is the way they lost the Oregon game. It came down to one play. What got lost in that game is how well he played. He put 31 points on the board that night, and he hit a lot of big plays. Here, he's just trying to make a play, lost track of the clock, and it was a moment he'd love to have back. You know what? Instead of feeling bad for himself, he's gotten better from that point on. Let's talk about what he's doing. The tight window throws. I mean, he's making NFL throws, and he's got NFL wide receivers. This is the tight end he's got, able to make that play downfield in that seam. Accuracy on the move. This is what Chip Kelly's doing. He's got the run game, he's got the play action game, and he moves the launch point with the way Will Howard can make great throws. I love this. Talking about his big ass, sprinkle this in the run game. You get so consumed with the receivers and the running backs. Chip Kelly runs that 4 or 5 times a game, and then his decision making, working through his progressions, using those feet, and then the vision downfield to be able to make big plays there at Jeremiah Smith. So this guy's very underrated. I don't think he'd want it any other way. Today, Coach Saban just said, back to his same role, in command, distributing, running the football, having the chalk last, and making sure he gets his offense, Pat, in the right position.
What do you think those two are talking about, huh?
Well, so there was a golf sessions earlier this morning, and offensive line coach Justin Fry actually acknowledged the fact that the ones who talk the loudest normally know the least. It's the ones who are quiet that you should be worried about. Almost a message to Kurt Cignetti, who is certainly
an Indiana man.
Who is certainly
he was a finalist for that job too.
Yeah, so I mean that's obviously the way that goes. Now, if you talk about this Indiana team, obviously you talk Cignetti, you talk Curtis Rourke. Their defense deserves a little bit of conversation as well. They're only giving up 14 points per game. This is by far the most talented group they're going to have to take on. Let's do some tape here.
Here we go.
Coach Haynes, who's the defense coordinator, he's great at scheming up some pressures to get Will Howard off his mark. So first play is simulated pressure, obviously. There's going to be 4 people that come. So 4 is not a blitz, considered that. But the 4th guy is coming off the edge. He has eyes on the quarterback. Boom! No idea. Now we got a pick 6. That was supposed to be a pressure.
Fast too.
But his football IQ, that was standard speed. That was not 2x speed. Now let's talk about their linebackers having big old brains. Aiden Fisher, this guy is leading the Indiana Hoosiers in tackles. He's got a big, steps up onto the run, gets his eye on his man, then back to the quarterback, tips and overthrows, got to get those. Flipped his hips twice, knew what was coming.
Great instincts there.
Amen. And let's talk about great athleticism. You know, whenever you run these stunts, it's all fine and dandy when drawn up. Look at the athleticism of Mikhail, getting around and able to square that up. So D-line with Mikhail and Mara and everybody they have, phenomenal athletes, dogs everywhere. And once again, this crew has been counted out. Could be a massive game against a very wealthy offense.
Yeah, keep an eye on Kamara and Carpenter. I tell you guys, every time I speak to a coach that's coached against the Hoosiers, one of the first things they say is that they're a very, very well-coached group. And you don't hear that, about different teams. You may hear they have great skill or they have a great defense, but they always talk about how well coached Indiana is. And I think this game is going to come down to how the officials, how they officiate the perimeter. Because you got a lot of defensive backs out there who love to play man, but they're handsy. They got sticky hands out there. So keep an eye on how they officiate the perimeter. Only in Columbus can it go from 9 o'clock to damn near 12 o'clock and get colder.
Oh, yeah.
It's unbelievable. What the hell?
Part of the magic.
Bro, it's freezing right now.
Right. To your point earlier, I went to Ohio State's practice yesterday, and I wasn't sold on Will Howard. But after watching them practice, his leadership and his command, and the way the players responded to him, really sold me on Will Howard.
I tell you guys what, the last time he said that, we were at the Penn State-Ohio State game, and he told me, he said, I went to Penn State's practice, they were loose, they were looking awesome, they were looking great. I damn near picked Penn State that game, too.
I want to give you one warning sign here. Ohio State's already used 17 different combinations on the offensive line this year, only 15 the last 2 years combined.
Wow.
They've got 4 different starting lineup groups, and the big deal here is when Josh Simmons injured earlier, Seth McLaughlin been off the field this year, their third down conversion percentage has plummeted to about 22%.
Interesting.
See if Indiana can take care of that today. What happens today there, Stanford Steve?
The skull cap, bro, you need a hat.
No, I'm good. You got the earmuffs. Ohio State wins the game. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, though. But I expect Indiana to come out here with a good plan. They haven't had to play a full 60. Today they're going to. Ohio State outlasts them.
Jeez.
But you think close enough, right?
Yes.
Close enough. Okay.
That'll help IU. Close enough.
I think so, too. I think that's a really big deal if they play that well. Now, Miami has to win out to get into the ACC championship game. DoorDash counting us down to kickoff. It's over 21 minutes until they take aim at the worst pass defense in the ACC. But Xavier
I love Xavier.
Xavier
said it, man. He's just a model of consistency. He's Ward's go-to guy.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Now, SMU can get into the ACC championship game just by beating Virginia today.
Yeah, we've talked all year about the job Kevin Jennings has done taking over for Preston Stone. Brings more of a dual threat. You got Rashard Smith. This is just more about a mindset game. It's going to be sleepy in Charlottesville. SMU's got to show some maturity in being able to handle the potential kind of an upset trap there.
And an SMU player up for the Doak Walker? Okay, it's about time.
A Miami transfer who played receiver there, and they made him a running back, and he's been great. Wheels up, make sure we get our celebrity guest picker here every week, Jess.
We welcome in Steelers quarterback and a guy who knows his way around this stadium, Justin Fields. Justin, thanks so much for being here. Now, you personally are 2-0 against Indiana, but this is a different Indiana team. What are the keys for a Buckeye victory today?
I think, keep everything simple. Execute the routine plays and, play hard, be physical up front, and run the ball, pass the ball like we usually do, and make big plays. So.
And you personally have never lost here in this shoe. What kind of environment are the Hoosiers walking into right now?
Yeah, it's crazy. 100,000 people in here. I'm going to be rocking today, number 5 versus number 2. So I'm just excited for the matchup, to be honest with you. It should be fun.
So are we. We're looking forward to your picks. The guys are waiting for you on set right now. Have fun.
Get your holidays delivered at the speed you need, only from the Home Depot.
Man, that sandwich looks lonely, and that's sad. So let Jimmy John's fix that by adding free chips and a free drink. Turn an 8-inch sandwich or wrap into a combo for free after 2 p.m. Only at Jimmy John's.
Gear up for game day. Enjoy the home field advantage at Fairfield, official partner of the NCAA.
Let game day begin!
Grab a Pepsi and make your game day epic.
I tried everything for my stubborn dandruff, and then I found Nizoral. Nizoral works differently to get to the root cause of dandruff. In fact, its active ingredient is 10 times more effective at fighting fungus, the primary cause of dandruff. Say goodbye to stubborn dandruff with Nizoral.
Clem's not a morning person or a people person, but he is an I can solve this in 4 different ways person. You need Clem. Clem needs benefits. Work with principals so we can help you with a plan that's right for Clem. Let our expertise round out yours.
If you love life, get your deep-fried turkey sandwiches at Arby's. If you like flirting with death, deep fry your turkey at home and risk blowing it up. 2 solid options here. Arby's, we have the meat.
Whee!
Today's the day.
Woohoo!
There's the second most famous groundhog in Pennsylvania.
Am I late?
Just in time.
Nice. Holiday scratch-offs from the Pennsylvania Lottery.
Things just got very merry. Keep on scratching.
In 2010, Amex founded Small Business Saturday, which has since helped generate over $200 billion in sales. Because when you shop small, you make your community great.
Dude, I'm getting it. Yeah.
So on Small Business Saturday, November 30th, shop small. Supporting small business communities. That's the powerful backing of American Express.
Takes the handoff. It's a refurb.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment. Dave's back on. Coors Light. Choose chill.
College Game Day is built by the Home Depot. How doers get more done. And in part by Coors Light. Mountain Cold Refreshment. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly.
There's Lee Corso's first love in there. He put on the headgear of Brutus. Coming up, Buckeyes and the Hoosiers, top 5 showdown. Indiana can go to the Big Ten championship game if it wins this game, and Indiana's Kyle Schwarber still leading the way.
Oh, is that a little tell?
Standings. And now maybe Justin Fields will be able to unseat him. Time to make some Coors Light Saturday selections. Great to see Justin here with us. Let's start with the game, guys. It's coming up noon Eastern time on ABC. As soon as game day finishes here, Billy Napier barely missed the crossbar with the throw for, what was it, like
$1 million.
Does Florida get the win in the upset against Ole Miss?
I think he'll barely miss this win. I think that Ole Miss will beat Florida. It's going to be a close game, and I got to say to Justin, listen, brother, I think the bar has been set really high. We had C.J. Stroud as a celebrity picker, and he was outstanding. Really? So the bar's been set high. Yeah. C.J. was incredible. C.J. was incredible.
Who we got, Nick?
Ole Miss. You know, I love the job that Billy Napier has done in Florida. I think he's done a great job of keeping his team focused through some really difficult circumstances. I just think Ole Miss has got too much firepower for him, but I think it's going to be a close game.
If Napier would have hit that crossbar, I would have changed my pick. I think everything in front of Ole Miss still. I think Lane Kiffin's going to pull from that. I think Jackson Dart's going to play very well. I like Ole Miss to win this one, but I like Florida over the next couple of years.
I got Ole Miss today. I think, Jackson's been playing really well this year. I think they have a really good D-line and a good offense as well, so I got Ole Miss for sure.
Yeah, good pick, and Florida's defense keeps it in the game, makes it real close. Florida close, but Ole Miss winning.
We focus always on the top. We talked earlier, the job that Billy Napier's done when they're sitting there at 4-5, lost 2 in a row, to fight back. By the way, the Swamp looked like they were undefeated. It's going to be electric today again, but I do think Jackson Dart, too many playmakers. That's not good.
Napier was on the show.
I know. I'm going Ole Miss, too.
I think we'll be fine here. We'll see. All right, let's do a quick one here. Vandy
it's like
and LSU.
doubling down.
LSU has lost 3 in a row. I cannot see them losing 4 straight, so I'm going to go with the Tigers.
I'm going with LSU, but I think they got to bounce back. I think they got to show that they have the competitive wherewithal to overcome this adversity they've had the last 3 weeks.
I love Baton Rouge. I called the hell out of it whenever we were down there.
Yeah.
Anytime a team just has bad vibes around it, that Bryce Underwood kid pulling his commitment after the loss to Florida last week, I think those are real. So give me Vandy to get a massive win down there in Death Valley.
I don't know. I got to go with LSU. I think they have more talent, and like you said, they lost 3 in a row, so hopefully they can bounce back today.
Not so fast, my friend. LSU had a terrible loss to Florida, but they come back and win it.
Yeah. I like that.
I'm going with Pat. I'm going with Vandy. I've called like 5 LSU games. They got a lot of ability. Something's not right there. Something's not clicking right now with this team. Here comes Diego Pavia. A little bit of an attitude coming in. I don't know. I'm going Vandy. I think they can pull off that upset.
Okay, Texas A&M plays Auburn. Night game at Jordan-Hare. Everybody's picking the Aggies with Texas looming next week. Remind me again, what goes on at Jordan-Hare? What is it? Is it haunted? Is it haunted? Oh, no, Kirk had Auburn.
Kirk has Auburn.
Jim Guy told me. I'm with you. I think Auburn wins this game outright tonight.
I do.
Wow.
Yeah, really?
I do. You want a reason why?
Yeah,
I think it's one. I think it's a sneaky game for A&M. With Texas next week, Auburn has played well enough. They just self-destructed. If they are able to take care of the football, they got a shot to pull off an upset.
All right, victory bell. USC and UCLA. Who wins it?
For the Bruins, after losing 5 straight, they've won 3 of their last 4. I'm going with the UCLA Bruins.
I like USC in this game. I think they've lost some close ones this year, and I think their team is playing better right now.
Coach Foster started at the Big Ten Conference. Didn't know he was going to have to speak to an entire stadium, I think. So a lot of people laughed at it. Then how they start, not great. To your point, Desmond, they're hot.
Yeah.
Give me the UCLA Bruins and a big win for that program and for Coach Foster.
Yeah, it should be a good matchup out there, but I'm going to take the Trojans on this one.
Oh, man.
I got the Trojans.
Hey, too much offense, UCLA win.
Yeah, Miller Moss was the quarterback all year. He ends up getting benched. Jaden Maeva comes in. He's not even on the team anymore. It's our new world of college football. I think Maeva's going to lead SC. I think he gets them away.
He was really good.
He was.
Last week in their last game win against Nebraska. The 2-pack championship game, Wazoo and Oregon State.
I'm going Washington State. Yeah, go Wazoo.
I got Washington State. I just don't think Oregon State's got the firepower.
Brutus is standing on his head, doing the OHIO with his legs right now. I mean, just finished. That was awesome athleticism. I don't like what happened to both of these programs. Obviously, the Pac-2 situation. Give me Oregon State in the Beeve, and I hope we find these 2 a home.
I'm going with Washington State in this matchup.
Washington State, 1 flat. Crimson flag.
Oh, yeah, for old Crimson. He's not back there right now, but he's outside. I'm with you. Too much offensive firepower for Oregon State to stay with the Cougs.
Yeah, and then one more year of the Pac-2 like this, and then some of the Mountain West schools are coming in to rebuild the Pac-12.
Yeah.
SMU can get to the ACC championship game against UVA.
So we talked about this SMU earlier. I think they're one of the more complete teams. They're just a better team than UVA. So SMU double-digit victory.
Yeah, I'm with the Mustangs. It's kind of one of my favorite teams in the ACC.
Me too. We love the quarterback, Jennings. Their defense is good against the rush. Virginia lost it all for me last week. Give me SMU.
I got SMU as well. I think they've been playing really well lately.
You're doing a great job picking.
Appreciate it.
Nice pick, boy. SMU passes that.
Yeah, too much. This, again, I think a bit of a test for all the pats on the back and the maturity going in a game you're expected to win. I think they'll be able to handle it. Rhett Lashley knows he's been around the SEC. He'll have his team ready to go and avoid the upset. I know.
A lot of those.
ESPN2 at noon Eastern time tonight. Army's undefeated, never started 10-0. They upset Notre Dame.
And listen, Notre Dame is going to win, but Army will cover. Give me the Fighting Irish.
I like Notre Dame. I just think they got too much strength in the trenches for Army to match up.
Bryson Daly's an absolute dog. Notre Dame's already faced this style of offense with Navy earlier. They handled it well. Give me Notre Dame to win this game, although I love America.
Yeah, I do think it's going to be a close game, but I think Notre Dame's going to pull it out for sure.
Hey, Justin, never bet against the Catholics.
Never bet against
You love that one. I think it's Notre Dame, and I think they win big. I think Notre Dame's in good shape. Oh, you got to show this, right?
What's this thing?
What are they doing?
What?
They about to dot the I?
No.
Just high stepping that thing.
Just high stepping and blowing.
We'll show you this right now.
Right there, all the way down. Watch all the way down.
College football.
Oh, this guy.
Let's make the picks while we watch. BYU and Arizona State.
The Sun Devils over BYU. I think BYU's run has come to an end. They lost last week, and they're going to lose again to Arizona State.
I like Arizona State in this one. I just think they're playing really good together as a team, complementary football.
What did you say is happening in the Valley?
Activate.
Yeah, I think that's going to continue. Sorry, Mormons. It's over. Arizona State.
I got Arizona State as well. I think they've been playing well lately, too.
Arizona State wins it in the desert.
The big three, Sam Leavitt, Jordan Tyson, and Cam Scatteraboo, they take care of BYU.
This is awesome. They've been doing this for, 100 years?
Forks up all the way across the board. BYU can win its way into the Big 12 championship game, controlling their destiny. So can Colorado on the road against Kansas.
Yeah, I tell you what, they got to be careful. Kansas is playing very well, just knocking off teams in their conference. But it's not even just about the offense. We talked earlier today about the Buffalo's defense. I'm going Colorado.
I'm going with Colorado just because I'm rooting for my old friend, Deion Sanders.
Speaking of your friend, Coach Deion Sanders, he was talking to Andy Reid yesterday in that Kansas City Chiefs Stadium. I think that's going to benefit the Colorado Buffaloes as opposed to Kansas. I think their magical year is going to continue. Give me the Buffaloes.
I have the Buffaloes, too. I think they've been playing really well lately. Shadir's been great this year. I got them taking the dub.
Kansas last week won over BYU. It's the first road win against a top 10 team in 29 years. They're hot. Kansas.
Kansas the last 2 weeks has looked like a completely different team. They're not only is Daniels playing well, that secondary is playing well. It's a tricky game for Colorado going into that environment. I'm going with Kansas as well.
Hot team.
Yeah.
That would throw things with the hot hand into a tiebreaker scenario potentially in the Big 12 and then here in the Big 10. We know the stakes. Indiana wins. They go to the Big 10 championship game. This is uncharted waters. The Hoosiers are 1-70 all time against top 5 opponents. They've lost 29 in a row to Ohio State. Once when Indiana won here, Earl Bruce called it the darkest day in Buckeye history. So who's going to see the light in this showdown this afternoon?
Their team loves them. Everybody else seems to feel the opposite way about them. We won't forget it.
I expect it to be sold out and loud, you would think, right?
We're going to find a way to win this game! Another top 5 matchup. Everything is on the line.
Back against the wall. Our best guys versus their best guys.
Every game from here on out is a playoff game for us.
we're going to go out there, we're going to make a statement that this is more than a basketball school.
Won't say too many things. We like to let our game talk on Saturday.
Not shy of saying this is the biggest game in Indiana football history. Do they win?
When Indiana played Michigan, Michigan's defense had a lot of success against Indiana's offensive line. Ohio State saw that. They're going to try to use that blueprint. But the tripped out part is people don't understand. Indiana's going to make changes too. They saw where they had weaknesses in their offense. They're going to make some changes. I'm going with the Hoosiers to shock the college football world.
Wow.
Whoa.
I love the job that Kurt Schneider's done at Indiana, but I'm telling you, Ohio State has too much talent. I think when they beat Penn State, they got the confidence they need to beat and win in these kind of games.
Michigan State came in here and played him in 2021, and they were number 9 in the country. It felt very similar. Michigan State, Mel Tucker just signed a big deal. Were you guys up by half, 42?
Yeah, I think
it was 42. I'm not saying it got out of control. I'm not saying it's going to be that bad, but I think it's going to be pretty convincing. Indiana has a chance. They can, again, I keep saying they can gain more respect in these 60 minutes than they can the previous 10 weeks. I just think Ohio State's too good for them.
Okay, I can understand why you would say that. And this game might be a complete blowout by those who have spent an enormous amount of money on a team that was expected to win a national championship in this offseason. I refuse to believe that's going to be the story today in this magical college football season. Give me the island of misfit toys in the Indiana Hoosiers to come into the horseshoe and beat Ohio State and dress themselves into college football history, Justin Fields.
No, sir. No, sir. It's simple. I think this answer is simple. And, I think Indiana's been having a great year. Of course, they're 10-0. But, Ohio State by 50 points, baby.
Oh, my God.
Ohio State by 50. That's how we're rolling today. So, yeah.
I haven't had the nerve to pick against my first love in Ohio Stadium in years.
You're not coming.
But not so fast, my friend. Indiana upsets Ohio State.
During the alma mater?
While the Ohio State Alma is playing against his first love. What a morning it's been. Hey, there are some hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
I don't know what's going on in the field. It is very,
alma mater.
It's a very serious moment.
It's alma mater.
And we got a Hoosier chant happening because of the helmet next to you, Justin Fields. Oh, what a game today. This could be a blowout. This could be a tight one.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
There's some great moments here. Kurt, come on, sing it. Kurt's going to sing it for us.
Go ahead, Justin. Go ahead, Phil. Sing along, Justin Fields.
Great work, man.
Justin Fields, tremendous job. Always great to see you. Great morning. Enjoy your college football Saturday.
You had to know that Lee Corso was going to put on that Indiana Hoosier helmet. Welcome, everyone, to Miami, Florida, nicknamed the Magic City because of its ability to bounce back after natural disasters like hurricanes. But the question